Hello!
Hello!
Everybody here? Hello!
Good evening, Maltstock!
I can see people waving.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome everybody. Welcome as this first and hopefully last virtual Drinks with Maltstock. We decided that this year we kind of needed a relaxed break and our crew needed a relaxed break. So no real Maltstock, but we'll do this online stuff because, well, we kind of miss you all after all. And it's good to see so many of you relaxed people joining us tonight. You should all have your tasting sets ready, so we'll get to that in a minute. But first, a massive thank you to everybody who has bought their Maltstock ticket 2020 and has decided to keep it for next year. It's a big help for us. So thank you all for the support and the confidence, and we really hope to see you all next year. Also, a big thank you to all our sponsors for making everything possible during the year, but especially also this evening. We've got some very nice and relaxed whiskies lined up for you tonight. And everybody will come and tell a little bit about the whiskey, so you'll find more about that later tonight. And I would also like to especially thank Stefan and Michel from Passion for Whisky. Go visit their website, some excellent whiskies there, but one in particular, because they've very kindly made an own Boogeyman bottling for Maltstock. It's a blended malt, which my lovely assistants will now show to you all. It is available right now at the Passion for Whisky webshop, passion4whisky.com. Exactly, that's the one. It's a very relaxed blended malt because Maltstock is all about bringing very relaxed individuals together in one big blend and make it an even better weekend and better whatever. Help me out here. Thank you.
No way we're gonna.
It's a very nice blended malt. It's 18-year-old. We tried it. It's good. We'll try it again in a minute. And you can try it as well. So come and get it. And also a big thank you, shout out to Thomas and Anska, the spellers from the 1923 production team. They're hosting this evening for us. They're fully responsible for all the production. So if anything goes wrong, if the video doesn't go right, if the sound isn't good, whatever, don't blame them. It's all on us. They tried their best. So this evening, what we'll be doing this evening is it will be a virtual tasting, well, a live tasting because you will be tasting not virtual stuff but real stuff. But most of you will have a tasting set at home with 6 tubes in it, 6 whiskies. We have one representative for each whiskey joining us live tonight to tell you a little bit about the whiskey. You can also ask them questions, anything you like. You can ask the guest speakers questions. You can also ask questions to any of us, especially them. Tonight, just put your questions in the chat, and if they get highlighted in the screen, we will talk about them and we'll try and answer them. So feel free, ask anything, and please join in. Anything else? Well, we've been chatting with a few other people in between the whiskeys probably, so there might be a commercial break with somebody telling about a new t-shirt company or something, but more about that later. And well, we would love to see you. You can see us, but we can't see you. So send us your pictures. Show us how relaxed you are. Show us your relaxed self today. Love to see it. Love to see it. And we should start with our very first whiskey. But I'm not quite sure if we're ready for that. But so we'll start with another one while we're waiting for our first host to connect. And that's one you can't join yet, but we'll try it. Nee, die gaat later. It's the blended malt, the 18-year-old. We'll just have a wee sip, and we'll try and connect with our first host. So bear with us for a moment. I'll have one. Yeah, have some. That's good. Everybody has some I did not. Why not? Why not?
I'm so busy.
So let's see how it is.
And we can actually connect to our Maltstock crew in Germany at the moment.
Mm. Why not? Would you like to see our crew?
Yeah.
That's a big yeah. So why not? Let's go live to our crew.
Hey! Hey, you guys.
Hi.
Hi. Hallo, Lita.
Hallo, Bob.
Hi, Bob. So you did have a taste of this. What do you think about it?
Oh, you mean the relaxed ram?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So relaxed. That was actually the first ram of the day today. So we gathered here in Germany to have kind of I think a relaxed weekend where we don't have to work. Oh, so relaxed! Oh my god! So we did a pre-talks walk and we had a relaxed ram in before. So that was our welcome ram actually, right? And how did you guys like it?
We liked it.
Yeah, we did like it. Yeah.
We emptied the bottle.
There's
There are a lot of empty bottles here in Germany, you know.
there's not a drop left.
Yes, it's 10,000 empty bottles, so it must be good.
Yeah, absolutely. So you actually did have a pre-talks walk?
Yes, we had a pre-talks walk. Oh yeah, and we actually had some members of the crew who never attended the detox walk, or how do you call it, the retox walk, or whatever. So they were always occupied with either, I think, breakfast or sleeping. And now our food is being delivered, so we don't even have to cook ourselves. We don't have to prepare anything in the kitchen. This is so relaxed. This is the way Maltstock.
I hope it isn't better than Maltstock.
Wow! I don't know, guys.
Well, we did find a very good backup location. The view is magnificent from there.
Oh, you should see the campfire! Whoa! No, we actually miss mud there because
they smell.
it's a bit small.
I think people are really looking for some whiskey, so thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hope to see you later.
Yes, of course.
Right. We should have Callum ready. Callum Fraser, production manager at the Glenfarclas distillery. Great honor, great pleasure to have him here joining us tonight for our very first dram of this drink. Well, there you are, Callum. Hi. Good seeing you, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Really good.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Trying to stay relaxed. Seems to work for us. So
I'm quite chilled here.
Sorry?
I'm saying I'm quite relaxed here.
Good. Well, you're actually kicking off this Drink Switch session with us tonight, so I think we're in for a treat as a first dram, but I'll leave it up to you to tell us all about it. We'll go get our tube and we'll pour it. I think everybody at home will do the same, and please.
Yeah, so, guys, welcome to Glenfarclas on this windy and wet Saturday evening. I'm actually sitting on my porch at this moment in time, looking down towards warehouse number 14 and number 15, which is not a bad view to have, although some of the drink that's in the background that I'm seeing in your studio looks a lot more than what I've got in mine. But hey ho. So a wee bit of history in Glenfarclas. We're the oldest family-run distillery left in Scotland. I'll move this camera, you might see more of me. Owned by the Grant family. We're on the 6th generation of the family. We're moving on to the 6th generation of the family to run the business in George Grant. Currently our chairman is John Grant. We've had the distillery for over 180 years now. We've been making whiskey here at Glenfarclas. So we're quite unique. We're also very unique that we still use direct to boil up the stills. And we're the only distillery left in Scotland who fills 100% using naked flame to do so. So we're the only distiller still left doing that. So when you nose this whiskey, the first thing you'll get through it is a nice sort of toffee, caramel sort of note, and that comes off the way that we distill our spirit. Now, when I say it's direct fired, that means that inside our wash stills, we have to have what we call rummagers, which are copper chains, which actually, turn that, you'll see the colour of the whiskey actually. Yeah, there we go, look at the colour of that. The rummagers actually stop the liquid from burning onto the copper. But in between the copper rummagers and the actual body of the still, we get this nice sort of baking on of the wash, especially in the wash still. Like the wash bakes on and it gives us this nice coffee caramelly note, which is absolutely totally recognisable as Glenfarclas. And it's really the only whisky you'll get nowadays that comes through, unless you get some of the really old age statements from other places. This one we're tasting tonight for me is actually my favourite Glenfarclas, so quite lucky that it was picked as a blind tasting for you guys. It's one that it will be my go-to whisky, and anybody that's watching and listening tonight will be able to say instantly, if they spoke to me before, what it is that's in this glass, because I will tell everybody this is my favourite whisky out of them all. I've been making whisky over 30 years now, but I've been at Glenfarclas for 8 years, and about 1 week into my tenure here as distillery manager, a gentleman called George Grant, who's a sixth generation family, said to me that we have to taste the different whiskies that we make at Glenfarclas, and just to get a feel for the brand, the flavour profile, the nose. So we started with a 10-year-old, and we worked through 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15, 18, 21, 25, 30, 40, 50-year-old, finished up with 105. And I said to George, no, George, this one is my favourite. And he said, no, Callum, we're not finished yet. Have you seen the family cask selection? We have to work our way through this as well. So about 3 days later, this one to me was still the best whisky out the whole Glenfarclas range. They're all really special, but this one to me just stood out that little bit more. Absolutely stunning dram. I'm going to put some water in it. Now, I know a lot of you guys sitting at home will be saying, water? Oh my goodness, what's he doing? But I am going to put a good bit of water in there just to open it up. Wow, it's like walking through a wildflower garden. Again, I'm going to move this camera. I'm a bit getting used to this camera angle here. It's like walking through a wildflower garden. Now I'm getting like minty notes, floral notes coming through it. Absolutely tremendous dram. This whisky is the reason that people like myself and our team at Glenfarclas get up in the morning and do what we do to produce something like this. This is one of the best single malts that's out there. I know there's some really good drams coming on later on, and I'm not being disrespectful to them, but I'll tell you what, this is just an absolutely awesome dram. So I know you're all desperate to taste it. Some of you have probably already done so. So the first thing I'll do is say, when you put this in your mouth, count to 10. Let all the flavour evolve in your mouth. Let it explode. After you swallow, after 10 seconds, it's just going to burst in the back of your palate, the flavour profile coming through here. So, slanjiva.
Eén is wel dat we dachten om hier weer naar hun te gaan. Gaan we dat doen?
That's great dram. It's absolute great dram, this one.
I love it.
As I say, that's the reason that guys like me and our team at Glenfarclas get up in the morning and make whisky to make a product like this. Yeah. This is just an absolutely awesome dram. The colour in it is totally natural. So every Glenfarclas bottling that we do is natural colour, so there's no additives to it to make it different, to darken it up. The age statement is exactly what it says in the bottle. And at Glenfarclas, again, we will always keep an age statement on our bottles. So whether it's 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15, 21, 30, 40-year-old, you will always know what you're getting. As a company, we've decided that we will stick by that, and that everybody will always know what age our whisky is when they're drinking it. So that's really important to us as well. But this is just Callum's sample is a lot bigger than anybody else's. I poured it myself, so that's quite important.
Good evening.
What I will add to that is though that part of my role as distillery manager at Glenfarclas is to help select the casks along with my colleague Douglas Belford, and we will select all the casks for the age statements, and then we'll marry them together in a large marrying vessel, and then we will taste them, and I will taste them, then we'll colour check them, and we'll both nose them, and then we'll decide if we need to put in more first fill sherry, second fill or third fill sherry to bring it up to the flavour profile that everybody expects Glenfarclas to be. So you can imagine that's quite a time-consuming job. If you're putting 100 casks or 70 casks into a vatting, we'll maybe only put in 40 or 50, then taste it, add another 3 or 4, then taste it, then add another 3 or 4, then taste it. So it's quite important, and it's quite a nice day at work when we're vatting something as old as this, or even slightly older, when you get to taste that whiskey every single day you go to work. And we call this hard work as well, but it's quite an important part of the role.
I see we misspelled your first name. Sorry about that.
That's okay. There's an L of a difference. My name has 2 L's in it. I can't see how you spelt it, but I'd imagine you spelt it with 1 L.
I was wondering, you are actually production manager at the moment, so you're making a whiskey now, which will be brought out in about 21 years. Are you planning on drinking your own produce 21 years from now, or?
Well, God willing, I'll be drinking my own produce in 10 years or 8 years when it matures. I mean, we're nearly at the stage that the whiskey I distilled since I've been here will be going in 105. 105 is 8-year-old. So come sort of February, March time next year, 105 will have whiskey in it that I distilled it. The team distilled it Glenfarclas. I oversaw distillation. Yeah. Hopefully I'm around in 21, 25, 30 years' time to still be sampling this product.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Any comments? Any comments? The flavour or colour or?
I love it, Callum. Really, it's not just a good starter, but it's just a heck of a dram, and it's at least here in the Netherlands, it's really good priced as well. So it's really good drinking whiskey, and you can tell. I mean, you guys have the proper sherry casks.
Yeah, the price is pretty keen, to be fair. But something you don't get at Glenfarclas is hugely overpriced whiskey. You know, for the age of this, if you go to another distillery across the river from us, you will add a 0 to the price. And a lot of it's marketing, cost of fancy packaging. When we put this in a bottle, it goes to the standard Glenfarclas bottle. It's this colour. The reason that we put it in this colour bottle is because it's a natural coloured whiskey. So it lets people taste the whiskey using their palate instead of using their eyes, which is quite important to us as well. So that's the reason that everything from 15-year-old is in a coloured bottle. Is so as people appreciate it for its flavour profile and its nose, instead of looking at the colour and saying, oh, that's really dark, or that's really light, it must be bad. It's flavour that we are going for, and it's nose that we are going for, and that's really important.
Yeah, excellent. And I believe one of the best places you can buy it is probably the Whiskey Shop Dufton.
I'm not so sure about that. Van Wiesen in the Netherlands is quite a good place to buy it, to be honest. We can't be biased to one whiskey shop. There's another nice whiskey shop in Abbott as well.
There's so many good ones around, really. True.
Absolutely. Yeah, or at the distillery for that matter.
Yeah.
So is there any questions coming in?
I don't know. We have to watch. I'm not really watching the chat, but who knows? We'll pop them off if there are some questions. Oh, well, here's one. Are there any plans to bring in a non-chill filtered 46% version?
Actually, all of our whiskey is non-chill filtered. We don't chill filter any of our whiskey away down below 1-2 degrees. So you can virtually say most of it is unchill filtered. There's not any plans to do 46%, but for a customer we did do one at 51% recently. So there's lots of things going on. What we're releasing very soon though is a 50-year-old whiskey at 50% alcohol. Which is pretty stunning to there's Mr. Lord from Dufton on having a wee pop. I can see that one.
He'll be at a safe distance though.
He'll be fine. He's not allowed up our drive. So when we bring out our 50-year-old, it's a really stunning whiskey. It's a marriage of 4 or 5 casks together. It's still sitting about 50.4% alcohol, which for whiskey that old is really unbelievable, but it's a cracking dram. And we had some good fun putting that together as well. You can imagine there's only 6 casks in it, so we only put in half a cask at a time so as we could taste it more often while we're actually making it.
So how many casks did you have to try to decide on only 6?
A few more than that.
It's kind of mind-boggling in that sense that you're talking about 50-year-old whiskey here. So you've got
yeah.
Apparently, you're stuck on that.
The way that we mature our whiskey here is very traditional. Everything we do is done age warehousing, so the temperature stays really consistent the whole year, which gives us a really slow maturation. So we don't have so much alcohol loss in it. So it's unusual to have whiskey that age that's at that strength. But at Glenfarclas, because we are over 1,000 feet up, sitting on the side of Ben Rinnes, the air is really pure, it's really clean. The warehouses are cold. I mean, the warmest our warehouses get to in the summertime is about 16 degrees. In the wintertime, they'll cool down to about 2 degrees, 1 degree. So the whiskey stays really consistent, which stops us having massive losses in alcohol strength. So the Angels at Glenfarclas don't get as much of a share as what they do in other places.
So something else I just picked up recently, Callum. I was told, heard, whatever, that there might be a special bottling for the Netherlands coming up soon. Anything you can tell us about that?
That's actually something that my colleague Ian McWilliam, who I'm sure a lot of you know Ian, would deal with. At this moment in time, I'm not 100% sure, so I won't say. But we're always doing something special. You know, there's always special things going on. There's always things we're working on in the background for people.
We'll keep an eye out.
There was a question from Jens Fischer.
Do that.
There was a question from Jens Fischer. How many casks are used for a batch of 25-year-olds?
Well, we just done one 2 weeks ago, and we put in 32 hogsheads. So a hogshead holds 250 litres, and we put in 32. So that's about standard size for a 25-year-old vatting. When you get to like 30 and 40-year-old vattings, you're maybe talking 22, 25 casks going in there. And as I say, when we got to 50-year-olds, you're talking 6 casks. So,
wow.
And it's really, really limited as well, you know. So we limit what we put in. If we were to vat all the 40-year-old we had today, we could sell it all tomorrow. Then there'd be none left for 6 months' time. So we're quite restrictive on the really older ages of how much we're bottling at a time. So we kind of keep an eye on stock all the time. It's quite controlled.
So, Callum, what are you doing the second weekend of September next year?
I don't know what I'm doing the third week in September this year. Never mind next year.
I might have an idea.
Why are you coming to see us?
If I come to see you, will you come to see us?
Yeah, I actually quite like coming to the Netherlands. I've got a couple of good friends out there, so I'm quite partial to coming to the Netherlands. It's a nice country to come and visit.
Yeah, make sure you visit in September. There's a nice weekend around.
Okay, well, I take it's nothing to do with what we're doing today. Ronald Schwarzpoort is always keen to get me out in the Netherlands, so yeah.
Well, you should listen to him.
I try not to. If you've ever been in Ronald's company, you'll realise why.
That's the spirit. Okay.
We're gonna do an.
So just checking if there are any questions in the chat. What is your most relaxed dram, Callum?
Oh wow! I would go straight to 21-year-old Glenfarclas, but if there wasn't 21-year-old, I would go for 12-year-old Glenfarclas, which is equally as good a dram. If I'm in a bar where there's no Glenfarclas, I would pick up my jacket and go elsewhere. So that's the kind of rules. My go-to whiskey after Glenfarclas is Bowmore. I love a nice Bowmore.
Oh yeah.
And I love a nice Glengoyne. Glengoyne is a cracking dram as well. So you know, but generally speaking, it would be a 21-year-old Glenfarclas or a 12-year-old. That would be the direction I would go in. I just love the profile of our whiskey. It's so approachable. It's so soft. It's appreciated by whiskey drinkers who are seasoned whiskey drinkers, but also new to whiskey. So that's quite important as well, that you can introduce them to it. So I was asked actually last week if you were introducing somebody new to Scotch whiskey, and it was to be one of the Glenfarclas range, what would it be? And it would be 12-year-old Glenfarclas. It's really approachable. It's fresh. It's quite fruity. That burnt toffee notes there, but it's not harsh. There's not a harshness about it. So that would be exactly where we would go.
I must say, I really enjoyed this 21-year-old. So thank you very much for this, and thank you very much for joining us online here. I mean, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Really, hope we can visit Glenfarclas soon. It'll be great, and hope to see you soon around.
Yeah, well, hopefully next September we'll have a word with Ronald and Ian and see what happens.
We'll have a work with him as well. We'll see what happens. It'll be good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Callum. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Okay, cheers. Cheers.
So, well, since we were sort of planning on having a little conversation with our Maltstock crew at this moment in time, but they're out eating pizza, we might as well go straight on to Ian O'Brien.
You can't get the crew, can you?
Yeah, you can't get a good crew these days. Hello, Ian. How are you? I'm sorry, we can't hear you, my man.
Oh, but it's good.
All right, now.
Hey, there he is.
I was doing mime. I was doing a little bit of mime. That's all I was doing.
It worked. Oh, they're all mine now.
Yeah. How is everybody?
It's time for tube number 2 now. Tube number 2.
So we go from the 21-year-old to something very, very, very young compared to whiskey. We're only starting out a few years now, 6 years running. So we just released a few 3-year-olds, just over 3-year-old whiskies there in the last few months, and lots of stuff coming down the line too. But pretty good. So I hope everybody has filled their glass.
We most certainly have, with these beautiful little tubes.
Beautiful little tubes. Yeah, so what we have here is one of our single farm origin bottles, one of the first releases, and it's a Ballymorgan 1.1, and it's bottled at 50% ABV. So so they're so young, we disgorge them at about over 70%, and then bring them back down with water to 50%. So it's very young, very young. You can actually still get the spirit coming through it, and I always get menthol coming through in this. So I kind of think this as a breakfast dram. So you can get like some bread and some fruits and stuff like that, and then you just go brush your teeth after it, and you get the remnants of your breakfast in the background. But it's been exciting for Waterford over the last few months. Actually, it's when you start out a new distillery, it's you're just producing and nothing happening. And for instance, like big distilleries like Glenfarclas will have 21-year-old stock coming through. Like we're a long way away from that, but still exciting for us to come through. And we had our first cuvee bottle that came out at the start, just around April, end of May, or April, start of May, and that was the start of it. And then we brought out 3 releases after that, and continuing to flow. So I think by the end of this year we'll have about 10 bottlings out, and next year we've 60 bottles planned to go through. So it's a bit of a daunting experience for us for the way we're doing it with all single farm terroirs and stuff like that. But very exciting, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice dram. And you taste, you get lots of fruit coming through in the background actually, and the menthol bit just moves away at the back of the palate. Sorry.
Just be ready.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, please.
Oh, we zijn
What do you think of it, guys?
It's nice. It's not there is some spirity character in there, but it's not overly spirity. It's not like you're drinking New Make or something.
No. There is character coming through it, all right, yeah.
Yeah,
it's quite beauty actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
And there's
some orange marmalade and stuff like that coming through in the back.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and also something like well, not exactly sawdust, but it's like someone who's working a saw, something like that. It's like burnt wood or something.
Yeah, you get a bit of that come through. Yeah, I get kind of when you have a taste of it. Actually, when you taste it, you get kind of cinnamon and stuff like that going through.
Oh yeah.
And like clovey, kind of like the ingredients to a nice curry. I always find that with this one.
Yeah.
And for us, it's so different because like where everything is distilled and fermented and brewed and everything is done the same way, but it's just from the different farms that we do, we get completely different styles of whiskies coming through for some reason. We distill the same way and do the cuts and everything is done all to a process, but it's the finished whiskies are coming across as different. Like this, we have a Ratheden 1.1 that came out, and it's woof poof, like it's real bang of a whiskey, but this is nice and light and fragrant. And I like all these different styles that we're producing, but we're not actually trying to produce different styles. It's just happening because of the actual barley and where it's grown.
David Sturkis actually got a question. What wood has this been in?
Oh, sorry. This was in. So we use 4 different wood types. So this has been a kind of blended through American first fill barrels, American new oak, French wine casks, and VDN, which is Vin Natural. So this is a bit of a sherry cask coming through on this one. But this one is about 39% of the first fill bourbon barrels. So you're actually getting a lot more of that vanilla coming through when you actually taste it.
Yeah, I do agree. But there is differences between this whiskey and other whiskeys you produce based on actually only the barley you use from
just only the barley we use, yeah, because basically we use the same breakdown of cask types too when we're marrying our whiskeys. So it's basically the barley we use and the soil it comes from or the terroir it comes from. So it's the aspect of the land or how hilly it is or how much sunlight it gets and stuff like that. And we collect all that data and it can be checked on the back of the bottle. We have a terroir code on the back of the bottle that you see. And if you type that into the website, it gives you so much information you don't know what to do with it. But it's more about we're still at the end of the day. Just look past the science part of it and just see if you can. It's whiskey at the end of the day, and that's what we're here to enjoy. So,
yeah, absolutely. I do agree with you on that part. It's always about the product, and for whiskey this young, to be honest, it's great. It's really good stuff.
Yeah,
I was actually expecting it to taste more spirity. I mean, you can sense it's still a bit young, obviously, but I was expecting it to taste way more spirity, and it doesn't. I actually quite like the menthol and the fruitiness of it.
Yeah, so do I actually. I find this one lighter than a lot of the ones we have released, and for the first 6 that we have released, this is probably the most light and fragrant whiskey that's been produced, and it kind of stands out on its own from it, and that's why I decided to send this one over to you guys, because the rest of them can be a bit full of spice and a bit. Everyone has their own palate, suppose, and what they'll enjoy. But I picked this one because I just thought it just stood out a little bit more.
Imagine this is 20 years old.
Sorry, Teun?
Imagine this is 20 years old.
Ian, what are your plans for the future?
So next we have organic and biodynamic and some heritage barley styles. They'll be coming out at the end of the year. At the moment, we're dealing with American orders and stuff like that and trying to get them over there for stuff like that. But we have an organic cuvee coming out that we had 5 or 6 different farms that we got us to grow as organic barley. So that will be coming out pretty soon, I think. I think it's coming out in the next 3-4 weeks or stuff like that, and that'll hit the market. Next year, we will have another cuvee in April, which will be a blend of some of all the farms that we've done for Waterford. And so that will be coming out April, May time, maybe pushed out. COVID has played havoc with getting stuff around the world at the moment, so we're trying to deal with that. But we have another small cuvee coming out at Christmas time, kind of a winter Christmassy warmer type of thing. So that'll be a small batch bottling. But there's because of the way that we produce our whiskies and how we keep them all separate from each other, the different farms, we can do plenty of different things. But next year, I think overall, I think there's 60 to 70 separate bottlings. Now that's not all for Europe or stuff like that. It could be for the Asian market, America, Australia, stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty taking off for us at the moment. We didn't actually expect the demand that we were going to get, and now we're just getting, can we get this? Can we get that? Can we get this? And it's very time consuming. And
Ian, it just popped up. Why the different types of cask? And why not choose one good old bourbon cask, for instance? Why the mixture with all the different types of casks?
I suppose because Mark Rainey, the owner, the CEO of Waterford, I suppose he had his fingers in a lot of pies as he was growing up. He used to own vineyards and champagne vineyards and stuff like this, and he just wants to experiment with casks a little bit too, I suppose. And I can understand where people go, the cask and the maturation will take away from what the actual barley can actually produce itself in flavour. But I think if when we're bottling, we usually vat at the same percentages. So we'd use 35% first fill bourbon and stuff like that. So where your taste is coming from the casks, or the flavour of the barley is changed, but the original new make that went into it is very, very unique. So you're producing, I think the new make itself is actually giving a lot of flavour to the actual finished whiskies.
So what's with, by the way, I think very beautiful blue bottles. Is there a story behind the color of this?
No story behind the bottle. Just pick the color. We just wanted to. We didn't want everyone to get influenced by the color of the whiskey itself, so we just let them have a bit of a mystery show with that one. So it's a good thing to do. It is a nice bottle, and the labels do change. The color of the labels change a little bit, all right, but. And the 1.1, so we don't have an age statement as such. So the 1.1 stands for the 1 is the first year harvest from that farm, and 0.1 is the bottling or the batch from that farm. So we have Bannow Island 1.1, but we also brought in for 1.2 then a couple of months after that, just to see the differences and how it's after.
They're sort of a single farm whiskey, actually.
Yeah, single farm whiskey, yeah. And the cuvee will probably be it'll be change every year, so we'll have maybe 2 cuvees a year, so that'll probably be, so this year was 2016, so next year will be 2017, and we'll go in vintages like that. It's kind of a wine-based thing, I suppose, a little bit. We've no plans for age statements or anything like that at the moment, but they probably could. It might change down through the years that we might bring out maybe a 10-year-old or 15-year-old or such and such.
Okay, well, why use the glass cork and not use the traditional cork?
I think once again it's just a bit of a marketing thing, I suppose. Yeah, is it hard to get out for you? Because I usually just push it with my thumb to one side and it just pops. But I think it's just for something just to stand out again a little bit against the other competitors. Like, there's not much price difference actually in a wooden cork and to the glass cork, so it's just a thing that we decided to use.
Yeah, and the glass will not go bad.
Yeah, and well, hopefully not. If you drink it fast enough, it definitely won't go bad anyway.
So Ian, last year, I mean, you obviously visited us at Maltstock.
Yes.
How did you enjoy that? I mean, that
was my first step into the world of going out and doing something like that for whiskey, and I had the shaky hands when I was pouring the new make, and it was only new make last year, and all of a sudden we're into whiskey, but I had the shaky hands. But it was such a lovely atmosphere you have at Maltstock. It's there I am. That's the worst photo ever.
I thought this is actually you showing how to put on a mouth mask, so it's really.
I was getting ready for COVID.
I know we had some great feedback on your sessions last year, so people really enjoyed listening to you last year. But I mean, it's slightly different from the festival. Have you been to other festivals, Ben?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to go back to you guys this year, and I was supposed to do another few tastings around. And it's getting used to doing this thing online and through videos and stuff like that. It's a big change, but I'm very much in the person type of thing, and I'm very animated. As I saw, I was doing this type of thing. And it's hard to sit on the couch and try to demonstrate the way I feel about whiskey. I'm very much an animated type of person when it comes to whiskey. But I'll be back next year, guys. Don't you worry.
We would like that, for sure.
A question coming in from Stefan van der Boog. Stefan is actually running a liquor store here in the Netherlands. How many different farms are you working with? We usually distill about 30. We've distilled over since 2016. We've distilled over 70 different single farms. So some of those farms now they will cross over from year to year. So about at the moment, individual farms we've about 42, I think, or something like that. And that's including we have 6 organic farmers, but we vat those together to bring out the organic, and we have we have 3 biodynamic farmers that we're using, and that's coming out soon too. And we vat those together, and those will be one bottling as well. Okay.
And then we have about 6 or 7, or we have about 3 or 4 farmers that are growing heritage style barley strains that weren't used. Some weren't used from the early 1800s, some 1950s and stuff like that. And this was what whiskey was made with back then. So we're just trying to see what's coming through now with those ones.
Okay.
So I think we have 1 heritage bottling coming out. I'm not sure if it's the end of this year or the start of next year, but that would be interesting actually. I think it's Goldthorpe actually. Be interesting.
Well, take your time, relax.
I'm reading things. Each individual cask is going to be different. Has to be individual. But yeah, this is true. Yeah, this is the thing I think Teun was talking about. That with the individual cask will have an influence on it. Yeah, there's no cask unique unless we start building our own forest and growing separate batches of trees or 1 tree per 1 barrel per 1 farm. I think we'd be going crazy. So there's a small bit of money to be thought about it. That like we spend £1 million a year on casks.
Wow,
for a very young distillery, it's a lot of money. Yeah.
So something that occurs to me, being a whiskey aficionado for a couple of years now, the whiskey industry in Ireland has been it's been booming the last couple of years. What do you think is the most exciting development in Ireland in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's huge now. I think there's over 80 something planned, working and planned distilleries going on at the moment in Ireland. Yeah, it's huge. It's gone crazy now. Lots of those are very, very small craft type distilleries. I suppose we're craft-ish. I suppose we have 1 million litre capacity, but some of them are very, very small, and most of it is pot distilled whiskey, where we're actually just doing single malt whiskies. And I just saw a question coming up: is this triple distilled? No, we just do double distilled. We just do double distilled whiskies.
Wow. Yeah. And the next question: Are you having to alter roller setup for different barleys? That's about milling, I guess.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, because of the density and the structure of the barley, some of them are quite different. So we have to adjust the milling for each farm, and some of them too might have a higher or lower protein level for mashing. So we have to change that recipe as well, just so we get enough sugars out of our wort so we can produce alcohol. So there's a small little bit of changes, but basically it's very much the same. All the fermentations are just up to 120 hours, so they're quite long fermentations. And then we get 5 charges from each wash back into distilling, and so we have 20 spare still runs per each farm. So we brew for a week, and we brew a farm in a week, and we distill it in 1 week, and we just keep going for the year.
Are there very much differences in yields between the different farms, or?
Oh yeah, you can get a lot of, you can get a good bit of yield difference. Okay, of course, yeah. It depends on, this is the same thing again when we go back to this from the terroir itself, like how much rain or how much sun that actual piece of land is actually getting, and it actually changes the effects of what kind of yield you're getting back off your barley. So yeah, it changes the whole time. We can have ones where we're getting low spirit runs off it, and then sometimes you get, like at the moment we're doing Ed Harper crop from last year, and just very high spirit yields coming off that one.
Yeah, good stuff. So in fact, you're sort of making barley wine. Something we Dutch are proud of making, but yeah, good to hear.
Yeah.
Are you distilling 3 times?
No, we're double distilling.
Double.
We just do a double distillation, yeah. So we just set to the wash still and then back into the spirit still. So they're about 10-hour runs. So it's quite different from, yeah. When you think about Irish whiskey, it's mostly all triple distillations, yeah, and it gives that real smoothness. But I suppose it's more of a Scottish style whiskey that we're producing. You can kind of get that coming through on it a little bit.
Okay.
It is quite smooth, but there's a little bit of harshness in it too. There's a bit of a kick off it.
Yeah, I do agree. It's really good stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. Again, sorry if already explained, but how do you mail yourselves?
How do I mail myself? Oh, we don't have our own maltings. We have a company that we don't have our own maltings. We have a company in the Midlands of Ireland called Minch Malt, and they do all our maltings for us. But we have a specially built storage building in Kilgannon, which Mark calls the Cathedral, where we can actually keep them all separated and then take them into the distillery and brew them and distill them separately and keep them separately. There's how many of the stills are the old? 2 of them are.
2 of them are.
Yeah, 2 of them are.
Question next year.
Yeah, they're quite old and they're battle worn. But yeah, they're still producing spirit after what, 30, 40 years now. It's pretty impressive actually. But we probably might have to retire them fairly soon, I think. So they're reaching the stage where it's not that the spirit isn't bad off them. It's trying to keeping them intact is more the battle.
I didn't realize they were that old. But
yeah, they're pretty old. Yeah, they're pretty old. I remember having a conversation with Mark Rainey at the time, and he said, where did you get your stills? And he said, one of the stills was out the front of Brockaddy actually with a pair of Wellington stuck in it, if anyone can remember back in that days. But he said he had the other one in a shed. A shed. I said, how big is your shed? I said, I have a lawnmower in my shed. This is a 35 or 3,500 litre still. Like, that's a big shed, man, you have. But he's very busy at the moment too because he's doing the rum distillery out in Grenada as well at the same time. So I think that's starting to produce liquid as well. So it's exciting for Mark at the moment, the way he's going about things.
Well, it's good hearing about you and about the Waterford story. I really like what you're doing. I really enjoyed this whiskey. It's young, obviously, but it's nowhere near spirity. It's absolutely great stuff. Well, I would like to thank you for being with us tonight because, well,
it was a pleasure having me. I was delighted to be asked by Teun when he sent me email. It was very good. I was just worrying that the bottles wouldn't get you in time, but they got there. Don't worry.
Relax.
Relax. You know me now. I'm a little bit hyper.
We are sort of relaxed tonight, so I hope you're as well. I hope you will keep on following what we're doing tonight.
Oh yes, I am. Stay on for the night, yeah.
Ah, good.
He's got a set ready, so.
Oh, you're one of the tasters as well. Whoa. So there's that a little bit of a bar set for all those people who are going to present their whiskey tonight to us.
I hope there's a lot more better people than me coming online.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
At Maltstock, Ian.
And actually,
Sorry?
Hope to see you next year at Maltstock.
Oh, you'll definitely see me there. Nothing will stop me getting there.
Very good. Good.
how do you say goodnight in Irish?
Ihama.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
So we are actually not only joined today by people who are presenting their whiskies, but we're also actually joined today by our guests. If I'm correct, at least one of our guests is actually in a waiting room.
Goedenavond. Good evening. Hi.
Good evening, Sam. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm pretty relaxed. Thank you for hosting this evening until now. Yeah, it's splendid.
So, are you alone there, or do you have someone with you?
I got a few whiskeys with me, but otherwise than that, I'm on my own now. Yes.
Okay, so you enjoy it so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you're one of the later visitors. You had your Maltstock virginity about 2 years ago, if I'm correct.
That's right. I planned to join you in 2017, but then my first child was born on September 19th of 2017, so I had to cancel my visit then, and so 2018 was the first year I was able to attend. Yes.
How did you like it? Because there are lots of people watching here tonight, and they are not aware of what Maltstock is and what it is about. So how did you experience your first Maltstock?
A lot, and also my second in 2019. I returned, yeah. But I like Maltstock a lot. It's very, very different to all the other whiskey things you can attend and join. I like to visit the German whiskey fairs and to talk to other people who are into whiskey. But the very difference of Maltstock is that I got the feeling that key people of the industry that do not do whiskey only for a living, but share a huge passion for whiskey. If they are not at Maltstock for holding tastings, etc., they take a weekend off and visit as guests. So you have a lot of very enthusiastic pros from all over Europe that you can visit there, and that was what got me. That was the thing that after the first visit, that was very clear that I had to come back, and I joined it. I enjoyed it a lot, absolutely.
Because we had to convince you really a lot in Mülheim.
Yeah, that's right. You had your booth at the whiskey fair in Mülheim, yeah, at the Aquavitae. Yeah, right. But it was worth the effort. You'll have a returning guest for the next years. That's absolutely clear.
Yeah. So you're enjoying yourself at Maltstock. What is your most favorite moment at Maltstock? Do you have something special in mind? What do you think?
There are a few actually, but maybe two worth mentioning. Last year I met, you talk to lots of people there. It's all about relaxing with a few drums and having chats. And there was a guy. His name was David. Hi, David. Where are you from? From Scotland. Okay. What do you do for a living? Okay. I work at Forsyth. What, the company that makes the distillery equipment? Yeah, right. That's my occupation. Okay. And well, nice story. My grandfather has some funny connection to the family of Glenfarclas. So my grandfather in his cellar has a few nice sherry casks from Glenfarclas that are not for any open sailors or something like that. Would you like to try? Yeah, of course I would. So you meet crazy people who have this special connection to whiskey. Last year I met David. Wonderful guy, and hopefully next year we're going to reunite and share a cabin for Maltstock 2020. Another thing that also happened last year, I was at the chapel waiting for the next tasting that I was ought to attend, and there was a guy sitting in front of that, opening a bag and putting a few plastic bottles on the table, and it were iced tea plastic bottles with Japanese signs on it. And I asked, what's that? And he said, well, I used to travel to Japan regularly, and I love the whiskies. And I found out if you put your whiskey, yeah, that's a photo of it. if you take your whiskey, put it into plastic bottles, and pretend it's iced tea, then you save a lot of taxes. So he came back from Japan with Japanese whiskey in those bottles, and he shared a few drams of that at Maltstock just in front of the chapel, and it was a pleasure to have a drum with him. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But you will be back next year.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you will be back next year.
Absolutely. I did not cancel my ticket for this year. I'm happy to join you next year. I hope to bring some friends and convince them that living in Germany for having a nice weekend with people from all over Europe is worth a try. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for joining in today. Stay there, because we got another group from I always call them the Coda group. So who's there? Who's there, guys? Vanessa, who's talking?
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking.
Vanessa.
Where are you? There you are.
Okay.
So you have a whole group there. How have you a whole group there?
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Introduce the guys and girls. Please introduce the guys and girls.
Do you want to know all the people? Because we don't want to know all the people, but okay. If you do, okay. Okay, next to me here. Hi, there's Boa.
Hi.
He wanted to join Maltstock for the first time, but well, okay. Corona came in. Then Tico. Yeah. I know Tico. Was he in the picture? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, he's in there.
You know him. Rokus.
Now I have to put my glove
in the picture. Then Erik.
Erik is the one who tried to knock on the tree with his hat.
Thank you.
Everyone knows the tree story. I know. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Then there's Wendy. We all know Wendy. Okay, after Wendy. I don't know him. A random guy. Who just show. Okay, that's Rob. Okay. And then there's the new one, the new kid in town. Sanne.
Hi, Sanne.
Hi, Sanne.
And then the last kid in town, there he is. It's Thomas.
You're missing someone.
Jos
and
Yeah, you're missing someone, I think.
Yeah.
You're missing Danny.
The big man.
But the big man is well sleeping.
He's sleeping.
What the heck happened there?
It was done on Friday night, but this
time... most of the times it's Friday nights, but this time it's Saturday night. So sorry.
So you're enjoying yourselves?
Yeah. We had a massive tasting from Wouter.
Almost as much as
Wouter of President Timmer.
Wouter of President Timmer?
No, he's a colleague of Jock Shaw.
Yeah.
Of course, you know him.
Yeah.
And he did 10 whiskeys with us, so that started the day at 2 o'clock.
10 whiskeys at the start of the day. Okay.
You're really into the Maltstock mode.
We had a retox walk.
Yeah. Yeah. With a really good French whiskey.
We have batches, but no one does anymore.
Still here.
And the Scottish breakfast.
It's malt. It's still Maltstock. Maltstock.
Maltstock.
So I'm glad you enjoy yourselves there. Keep up the spirit. I'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And thank you again for joining us. And see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's good to see so many people relaxing and joining us. Excellent, excellent. I think we're ready for the next whiskey, actually. Tube number 3. I think James is ready for us from Teeling Whiskey. So if you can connect with James. Hi, James. There you are. Good.
Hey, hello.
Doing some study in the background there. How are you guys?
Very, very relaxed. How are you?
Good. I literally just got back from the distillery about half an hour ago, so yeah, I'm still smelling malty. So
It's a good smell.
Time to get a stock in.
No, it's great. Yeah, delighted to be here. And I think the Brabazon 3 got all safe and sound over to you here.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Cool. That's good.
In the glass now. I think people
No, you can leave that out. You can leave that out. It's fine.
There it is.
There you go.
So talk us through it a bit.
Yeah. I suppose the Brabazon 3 is something that we were really excited about. It was something that was kind of in the pipeline for us for a while. We knew we kind of had it, and then of course COVID happened, so we're kind of looking at releases and being like, okay, when can we release them? And the Brabazon was kind of series 1 and 2 was well received, being like 6 different sherry casks for the original Brabazon 1, and then 6 different port casks for the Brabazon 2, winning what was it, World's Best Limited Release Irish Malt, big title, but it was good reception from it. So I was looking at how can we kind of like push forward the Brabazon series and kind of focus on this kind of fortified wine maturation. So we had some good quality malt in bourbon, and now and again when we're like up in the warehouse and we're looking at our casks and we're going, okay, will that go into the single malt or will that go into small batch? And that you find some of these casks and you're like, okay, this is going in a different direction, but it may not be a single malt, or it may not be small batch. Okay, what can we do with it? So we managed to get our hands on these fantastic 90-year-old Pedro Jimenez casks. And like I've seen these casks, they look old. They look very, very old, but they're Solero stack. So they're genuine Pedro Jimenez casks. So basically took these good quality bourbon casks and filled them into these PX casks and left it there for, I think it's 3 years, but just over 3 years. I think there's a month or 2 on top of that. And yeah, it's just what it's imparted into the actual whiskey is incredible. It's getting those genuine Solero stack casks just really brings in those stone fruits, brings in a lot of that kind of mustiness you expect from this incredibly old cask and this like lingering spice. I don't know about you, but just even if I like pop open a bottle, the smell of it fills the room, because lots of those Christmas kind of sultanas, figs, raisins and that. And even just moving it around the glass, it seems that there's so much flavor packed into the cask that it's almost syrupy in nature. Like just even sticking to the side of the glass, it just holds on tight. But for me, it's all about the nose on this. So yeah, it's constant. It's just stone fruits, lots of spice, that kind of grapey mustiness, and that kind of char you get from these old school PX casks. But for me, it was just the finish on it is just luxurious. It's like sweet, but then thick, but light and lively and spicy, and it just lingers and lingers and lingers. So it was a great kind of addition to the Brabazon series, and weird for Teelings as well that we actually put an age statement on a whiskey. It's not something that we do that often, but putting the 14-year on, not putting 3 on it, but actually going to this is a 14-year-old whiskey, I think it's absolutely exceptional. But ultimately, it comes down to what do you guys think of it?
I think it's pretty relaxed.
So you never joined us in the Maltstock?
No, I was meant to. I think I was meant to come this year, but then COVID happened. So unfortunately didn't. So Niamh got in contact with me and she was like, you have to do this online. I was like, awesome, deadly. This is a nice way to spend my Saturday night.
I have been there once at Teeling. I like your distillery very much because the entrance is great. You have to, on the right side, you have the restaurant and you can eat and drink something. And
oh, nice.
That was not what I intended to do. But
so you like the distillery because there's a restaurant?
No.
Yeah.
It was very good to see that you could see the whole thing in the whole distillery in one view, so you could see around and you could see your process, and that was what I like very much. So
he likes to keep things simple.
I think that's like it's like there's one thing that attracted me to Teeling's is the fact of like, when you go in there, it's like 30 degrees in there because it's just it smells like malt the moment you open the door, and it's warm and it's noisy and you can see everything. But I think like my favorite thing is if I'm bringing people around the distillery, it's like if someone's looking in the fermenter and Alex comes by and he wants to look at the fermenter, he'll just go up to you and just be like, move. Because it is an active distillery, so it is distillers going around and all that, which I think people actually like about it, that kind of realness of it. Yeah, it's when did you come? Was it a few years ago or 2-3 years ago?
About 3 years ago, I suppose, when I remember correctly, but I liked it very much. So we had some friends with us who not really knew something about whiskey. That was their first visit at a distillery, and I really liked it. You get the film in the first, and then you get we had a good guide, I suppose. He was more than willing to tell me all things that happened. But where do you want to go with your product? Is there a view for the future, for the long term?
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose our thing is to always be kind of ahead of the game, as in and trying to be as innovative as possible. So like looking at different casks and stuff like that. So like even with the Brabazon, trying to go and looking at like, okay, we had good quality PX casks, but going out searching and be like, how do we find the best? How do we find these really old Solero stacks and trying different ideas? You may have heard like we just released the pineapple rum whiskey we released last week, world's first pineapple rum aged whiskey, and there's other weird and wonderful stuff coming out, and that. So I think it's our whole thing is just trying to push it forward and try different ideas, whether or not it's like changing our barley. So like we're playing around a lot with malt at the moment, like using stuff like crystal malt and crystal rye, and Alex being from the craft beer industry in Portland is mad for all these kind of like specialty malts. And then I think we're about to change up our yeast strain. So we've been like playing around with white wine yeast for a while. So now we're going to look at like using champagne or cider yeast or ale yeast. And then I think our count at the moment on casks is like 110. I think we're on different varieties of casks. So I don't think we can go. We have lots of different directions that we can go in at the moment. So God only knows.
So you have a wide view, as I understand you correctly. So you're not supposed to go into more like bourbon casks or sherry casks, or so you're keeping all options open. Is that what I hear here?
Yeah, we're keeping a lot open, I suppose. Like our thing was like you know when you're like if you're making whiskey, and especially with Irish whiskey, it's very like noisy and busy at the moment with like what Ian referred to previously. Like there's lots of distilleries coming online now, so it's about kind of standing out But also we want to go, like, we love playing around with different casks and different mash bills and that, but we've learned you can't really go too wacky. You can't go too crazy. People still need to feel that kind of familiarity of a bourbon cask and a sherry cask, and like people still want to drink whiskey, but they want a little flourish over the top. So that's where the kind of maturation program comes in, and the yeast strains and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd say the worlds are kind of oyster at the moment, but it's trying to stay kind of one step ahead of what's going on.
Okay, but you're now doing much of non-age statement, as I see at the moment. Everything you bring out is nice. But what are you going to do in the future? Are you bringing out stuff for 15 or 20 or 21 or 20 more years?
Yeah, we just released the oldest whiskey we'll ever release ever. Well, not ever, but 37-year-old we just released. So that's coming from like our old stock. So we'll have to wait 32 years before we get a whiskey from Newmarket that's that old. So we will be coming out with probably age statements from the whiskey distillery in Newmarket. But we're in this like interesting transition between like our old stock from the family reserve to stuff coming online from the Newmarket distillery. So once that kind of gets up to, like, I suppose we'd have no problem putting like a 5 on a bottle. But yeah, it's we probably will once it gets up into the teens. Maybe there might be some really nice stuff. But I think we've just released a new 18-year-old. Still doing the age statement stuff. So a 28-year-old came up. That's the big brother of the 24-year-old. We released the 18-year-old there recently and the 37-year-old. So it's still kind of there, but I think the whiskey industry as a whole in Ireland is kind of stepping away from the ages.
Which I could sort of understand. From a personal point of view, I really liked your old stock. Are you planning on going that path with the current distillery again, or is it all experimental and wacky and?
I suppose it's not everything would be on the experimental side. Like there is kind of the rounded side. So I don't know. Have you guys tried the single pot still that we released?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that in the kind of batch process, and now we've kind of settled off on that. So I know initially for the single pot still, we would have thrown in like the likes of white Burgundy casks were in there. I think there was like Portuguese oak casks and chestnut casks in the batch. But then we slowly kind of whittled that down to what it is now, being bourbon, sherry, and the kind of virgin oak cask in there as well. Because we realized that, okay, it's like to bring in that familiarity of the bourbon and sherry, but then have that virgin cask on top, giving a flourish. We will be releasing some peated malt in what am I allowed to say? In several weeks from the distillery, and
okay.
it is a typical peated malt. Like when you smell it, when you taste it, you're like, okay, this is peat, but there is a little Teeling kind of flourish on it that is there, but is not in your face about it. So I think we'll release whiskies that are good, of course, but we'll always want to put our stamp on it and make it unique and make it ours.
That's very, very good to hear.
Yeah.
Niels Reiners asks, do you need the deviations in yeast and cask, etc., for your whiskey? Deviations. Oh dear.
Yeah. I suppose, like, I say it comes from this fact, like, as in, we never really wanted to make like more of the same, if that kind of makes sense. And that's not saying more of the same is a bad thing. It's they're fantastic. We wanted to be unique. So the yeast very much came from Alex with the Portland craft beer industry back in the 90s when there wasn't a craft beer industry. So he would have played around a lot with yeast. So he bringing in our Oregon Pine fermenters, and we actually trialed like 15 different varieties of yeast. So we thought that ale yeast would be in line with what we want to do. We tried cider yeast, champagne yeast, and it was actually the white Burgundy the South African white wine yeast that kind of really brought in a lot of fruity esters into it that we thought that was what we wanted. We want to make a fruity whiskey, pair well with some of the wine casks and fortified wine casks. And it's done really well with the likes of the products we will be coming out with from the distillery. But I know I was talking to Alex there recently, and Alex was kind of like, yeah, I might change it. And we were like, what? So I think we will be changing it just to do something different, to kind of change things up. We will pair the white wine yeast works well with certain casks, like as in it will come through on your typical bourbon cask. But like if we have a fruity spirit, we can pair it well with like a white burgundy cask. If you have a fruity kind of cask, it pairs well with it, so it kind of makes sense for us.
Okay, we had a question for Carlos Versieren. Thomas, can you put it into the screen, please? Because I couldn't remember it quite well.
It had to do with the name Brabançon whiskey.
Carlos is from Belgium, and he was wondering why it was named after the Belgium national anthem, which is called the Brabançon.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there it is.
That's the question.
You have no idea how, we should pity. How did I not even know that? Considering the fact that we put in so much research into these whiskeys. Yeah, it's Brabançon is a guy. So we're in an area of Dublin called the Liberties, and I'm sure like you've been to the distillery. Like as in we're not mountains, we're not countryside. Like we're city centre, urban kind of buses going past distillery. But the area of the Liberties we were in was owned by a guy called Brabançon, the Brabançon family. He would have funded a lot of the breweries and distilleries, and it's actually on the box. And oh no, my camera's here. This is our head office, so that would have been the old Brabançon house. So that's where our office is based. So it was kind of a nod to the area and a nod to someone who would have funded kind of whiskey distilling and industry around the area. And kind of bring the family forward and stuff. So we have a couple of, because we're a Dublin city centre distillery, we have a couple of locations like Brabançon, and there's a few other places I'd probably get in a lot of trouble if I told you, that will be named after the kind of city area.
Okay, that's been really, really interesting. And on top of that, a really, really nice whiskey, to be honest. It's If I'm totally honest, if I would have tasted this one blind, I would not have guessed it would have been an Irish whiskey. It's got quite a lot of maltiness to it. It's quite heavy, but I really like it. It's good stuff, this one.
Yeah, I think it's for me with this whiskey that really just got to me was the palate is brilliant on it, the taste, I think, but it's the nose and it just all comes from that cask, the PX cask, just really. But yeah, nice malty nose on it.
Yeah.
And the higher ABV, the 49.5, I think it just cuts through that sweetness a little bit. It still makes it nice and lively.
Really looking forward to having you next year at Maltstock.
Absolutely.
So you can talk to us live, and you can bring all kinds of crazy, wacky, amazing stuff from Teeling. Maybe we should have you do a tasting the whole weekend, but people can taste a new whiskey every 10 minutes, a new car every 10 minutes.
I know, it's like sometimes with us, it's we have collectors who are just kind of like, stop releasing whiskey. So I think at the moment, I'm not even sure. I genuinely don't know how many whiskeys we have. Because we have certain ones in different markets that like there's whiskeys I know that are in Europe that I haven't even tried. So like when I go over to Netherlands or Germany or Belgium or that, I'm excited because I'm like, oh, I finally get to try the finished product. I may have tried it in the warehouse, but it would have been a year before. So I'm always excited to grab those whiskeys abroad. And I think like a few whisky. Yeah, we'll be releasing quite a few bits. I think we're doing 6 whiskeys this month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, James. I mean, very, very relaxed. You took the time out. I'm really, really looking forward to having you over next year at Maltstock live.
Yeah.
So I hope you can make it. We'll be very relaxed.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, we're really excited to get back to travel and get over. And we've been pushing it on Zoom, but there's nothing beats actually just sitting down and actually having a whiskey face to face and live.
Exactly. So looking forward to that next year, James. But thank you for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
See you now.
So again, we're going to. That's us. That's us.
No.
What is happening?
Why are we?
Where are we? So again, we're going to change to a couple of Maltstockies. People who have visited Maltstock in the past and been some of our biggest fans, to be honest. So let's first go to Belgium, or perhaps it might even be Zeeuws-Vlaanderen, but I'm not sure about that.
Really Belgium.
Hey guys!
Hey! Hello. So where are you? Are you in Zeeuws-Vlaanderen or are you in Belgium?
We were in Belgium.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So you're enjoying yourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's a small mini Maltstock at my house.
Okay, for all the guests who don't know you, please introduce yourselves.
Okay, I am Carlos. Hi.
Hi,
I'm
Carlos.
Steven.
Hi, Steven.
Hi. Hi, Phil. Hi.
So you guys are coming. I probably think most of you are over 10 years old visiting Maltstock already.
11.
So in no way Maltstock virgins, but can you remember your first Maltstock?
Can anyone?
Yes.
What was so special about your first Maltstock, guys? Tell me.
No, the first tasting we had, there was in Maltstock. That was with Bruce Jimmy, with Jim McEwen. It was fantastic.
Standing on the tables and chanting.
Yes.
It was really nice.
So did it meet your expectations? What did you expect from your first Maltstock? Was there any? Did you have any things in mind when you first visited us?
Not really. We were introduced to it by it was the meeting of whiskey clubs. We were a whiskey club, so we went, and it exceeded our expectations. It really did. So it was much more fun, much more friendliness, and much more relaxed.
Now we know the term relaxed, so we have a special.
These slippers are new ones. For the first time ever, I was planning to give them their first Maltstock this year. My other slippers went on for 10 years at Maltstock. Some people know that, but they didn't get to Maltstock this year. I'm very sorry.
We're sorry too. So we postponed this one. So it's this whole COVID virus took us also by surprise. So, but I'm glad to see you there. So, what? Will you be back next year?
Yeah,
of course.
I thought it was.
I can't go back.
I think we can't keep you away, Stephen, are we?
Oh yeah, by the way, Teun, how was it with my honeymoon?
Whoa! But when
your wife is really enjoying it.
Really?
When do you bring your wife with you? Because we talk to her a lot.
Yeah, if she can sleep with you.
Oh.
No way.
I don't want her in our room. It's a bed cave.
What thing about Maltstock keeps in your mind? What was the most special thing you ever did at Maltstock? Was it the Jim McEwen tasting?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for sure the breakfast.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget the breakfast.
One thing I remember was the first campfire at Maltstock, where Jim McEwen and Billy Walker were like the two guys from Muppet Show, teasing each other and telling funny jokes. That was the tasting. That was tremendous.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
So fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get some goosebumps.
To be honest, I wasn't there the first time, which still annoys me.
I thought for you guys it was actually really about the whiskey quiz. You kept coming back, but
What did
you say?
I thought it was really about the whiskey quiz. That's why you keep coming back. But you need
the service is not so important.
an extra year to practice now.
I got a free ticket, a free shirt from Tony, so I went to this the quiz.
The problem is that in the car, in the 4 hours drive to get to Maltstock, we always prepare ourselves with a small whiskey quiz. The problem is the questions you guys ask are never the ones we tried before. So we planned on getting lost every year, and that didn't succeed. So we need to do another attempt next year.
Oh, but keep trying, guys. There will be a time we're going to win it. I'm sure. So,
one time.
Tomo, hi from Israel. Hope to see you all next Maltstock.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're pretty good, guys. You're invited from Tomo as well. So
good show.
But let's go back. Thank you for now.
Hey. You guys, good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Bye. Let's get back to the Maltstock crew. Lita, are you there?
Oh no, I'm on my own. I'm all on my own. They're all sitting outside at a campfire, relaxing. Now.
And Ministock. I see Ministock as well.
Yeah, let's go to Ministock.
Ministock? No, we're not.
We're getting very near the Maltstock venue. We have about 80 to 90 whiskeys here with us. We're just trying to do the Maltstock in a mini way.
It's getting messy.
It's like Maltstock.
So can they miss
This is true. We even have our own campfire.
Okay if you can. Okay, Niels. We
Yeah, it's the connection is with mobile, so it's a bit shit. So sorry about that.
No. And the connection, no voice at the moment.
Closest to Maltstock. Enjoy it. It's good to see you guys relaxing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have fun, guys. Enjoy.
Have fun. See you at least next year.
And the crew. And the crew.
So the crew is ready again?
Yes, we are.
Are you guys enjoying yourselves?
Whiskey.
We were so relaxed sitting outside at the campfire. It was really, really relaxing. And then we saw the Belgian guests. No, we missed them. That's when we realized that we actually miss our guests.
That's good.
Yeah, we do.
So let's be sure we miss you too. And it's no fun to be here with the five of us. Well, we should have a gathering with 200 people or 150 or how many it is. I understand you quite well.
I think it's time we move on to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crying, right?
See you later.
See you later.
So let's try and reach Sam Simmons now.
Dr. Whiskey.
Yeah, the one and only.
Oh, the book.
Oh dear. No.
Oh, he's just relaxing. Just leave him there for a while.
All this relaxing is putting me to sleep. Lita, everybody, so nice to see everybody. I love those sections where you're going to the groups. That's so nice. Miss you guys. How are you?
Yeah, good. Very good, actually. How are you?
I'm relaxed. I'm sufficiently relaxed.
Good. Job done.
So much for the blind tasting, I guess, with the fucking bottle on the table and everyone else talking about what whiskey's in their glass. What's the process tonight, guys? I love your look at those tasting glasses. That's what I'm talking about.
There is none.
Good. Perfect. Let me just change my notes here. Oh, this is so nice. Yay. So, I mean, it's a strange thing, isn't it, having to do this, to be together, but it's also been a weird blessing inside this curse that we can do it. Like in the morning, I can wake up and do a tasting or have a meeting with people in Australia talking about whiskey. We can do this in the evening in Europe. And later tonight, for example, I'm doing a tasting for Alberta, Canada. Like it's fucking crazy, but it's also wonderful, you know. And I know a lot of people have suffered and there's a lot of pain, but I think there's a lot of community and a lot of coming together that's been happening. So thanks for continuing to do that. Yeah, well, yeah. Can't complain, buddy. I know it's tough. Travel industry, that must be suffering for you. Anyway, let's not get into that. Hey, everybody, this is fun.
I know we put the bottle on the table, but I'm not sure everybody at home can see. Maybe you can tell the people a bit what we're having right now.
Well, we've only sold about 17 bottles, and my wife bought 12, so I don't think anyone will recognize it.
You sent the others to us.
Yeah, exactly. The others were sent to you to ship it to everyone. Actually, where the fuck is my pack?
Well, nice chatting to you, Sam.
Yeah, convenient. Fortunately, I already had a Teeling. I didn't have the other ones, though. So, Ian, get busy. Sent me something. And that Farkless looked stunning and a great story as well. Cool. So, are you trying to rush me on to talking about whiskey? How long do I have to bore everyone?
Whatever.
We'll find out.
Whatever time you will have to pour it.
See, it's so relaxed. I remember my first Maltstock. What is it? 2011, I think. And I've been working with Balvenie already a couple of years. And, you know, we go to whiskey shows as a whiskey geek, and I'm still a whiskey geek. I go to shows. I go to online tastings, whether I'm involved in them or not. I'm still a nerd, you know. But back then, working with Balvenie, you would do whiskey shows, and a lot of them had a shitty reputation of being drunk fest or, you know, whiskey loathe, because no one wanted to go there. If you were a real whiskey lover, it wasn't really fun. You know, you'd have to get in a queue behind a stand. There'd be banners in the way. There'd be people pushing forward saying, "Give me your oldest." It wasn't fun no matter what side of the stand you were on. And so, you know, festivals started charging more money to sort of filter out the crowds. And I guess you guys were born out of that, like trying to create a different experience. Whether it's better or not, it's not going to work for everyone, but fuck, is it different, isn't it? I love Maltstock, and it's not premium like what a lot of these festivals did. They went premium. It's primal. It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. It brings people together, and it makes you feel okay to like 12-year-old Glenfiddich and put it on the table. It makes you feel okay to have some weird blend that you stole from your uncle years ago. Yes, yeah, I'm doing. Well, look. Okay, Billy, take it easy. I like to keep it nice and trim on top. It's the earphones, you pansy. I got to ignore the comments. And just continue with my short little blurb here. That Maltstock, if you haven't been, you need to come. It's a whiskey festival for all the right reasons. It's about enjoying and exploring and not caring what number is on the bottle or what brand name is on the bottle or what the marketing spend was or what fancy glass it was put into. It's about the contents in the glass and the stories and the people that surround it. And I can promise you, at Maltstock, with everyone wearing name tags, it's a world of legends. And you sit around just lovely people. And we're all, you know, 2011 is the first time I went, and we're all still friends today. So that's pretty cool. What else are we going to do? Well, this is, like I said, the third tasting of the day. So I'm feeling relaxed and ready. I know. See, I don't have the right glass, do I? But it's more, I have to be fair. I'm getting some people saying use the teacup, the coffee mug, because I love using a coffee mug. And notoriously at Maltstock, that is what I have used, because you're outside. Outside, it's a great tasting glass because there's a lot of, there you go, a lot of interference from around. So that particular mug is actually in my tasting room at the office. I work for Adam Brands in our office down in Tunbridge. I've got a mug there. I've also got a mug up in Edinburgh, but not that one. That particular one is down in Tunbridge, just to make sure that when we're tasting VAT samples, that everything tastes right and that it would taste good at Maltstock near a campfire when you've already had 412 whiskeys. So the whiskey in your glass. Am I supposed to talk? Oh, sorry, guys. Welcome back. Oh, you changed. Oh, fuck. All right. Yeah. Take it away from me. I'll get my. I'll get. Cut. No. All right. Fine. Well, that's where I'm going to stop then for the protection of everyone. Otherwise, Sturk and Billy and Mark are going to have a. You think that's shaved? Oh, just wait. Just wait.
Like you might have ruined one fantasy, but you might have started a new one.
Yeah. Well, there was a year at the campfire where we all were taken off our tops, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, what we get up to. But even the parts we forget, we'll never remember. I mean, even the parts we remember, we'll never forget. I mean, what do I mean? Whiskey in the glass. Yeah. Well, I guess people don't know what it is. Stick your nose in it. Have a gander. I think one dilemma for me as a whiskey drinker, and I'm sure a lot of people who are sort of Maltstock folk can agree, that when you have a lot of open bottles at home, sometimes you like, okay, I'm gonna have a dram, and you go over to your cupboard and you look. You have 57 channels, but there's nothing on. You know that Bruce Springsteen song, 100 open bottles, but no, I don't quite feel like that. And you got nothing to drink. Sounds ridiculous, but you could probably all relate to that. I suffer from that, but I think it's important to remember that, yes, as much as we like exploring different single malts and historic bottlings and strange ones and unrepeatable, there's something to be said for your everyday whiskey. We all have them. We all have our staples. I know my 5 that are in heavy rotation, that when they get emptied on my shelf, I replenish, Lagavulin, Balvenie Doublewood, Johnny Walker Black, Glenfarclas 105. There's ones you need for those moods, and those are the staples, and everyone's got their set. But then even beyond that, what's the safe whiskey you go to? So that's what this whiskey is in your glass. It was something I wanted to make to be an everyday dram, really to be a whiskey that my wife would drink. My wife is from Norway. She loves Ardbeg. I don't, to be fair, but somehow she loves me. So we always meet in the middle, and Johnny Walker Black, that's sort of every day. Like, what do I feel like? Oh, I'll just go for a good blended Scotch with a bit of a peaty edge. That's what we tried to make. That's in the glass before you now. But yeah, something really for her, and success. She likes it. Glenfiddich 12. That's not what's in your glass, I'm afraid. No. Buckfast finished whiskeys. We have been playing with that. Yeah, that's not a great idea though. I went on a limb. You remember last year at the campfire, I brought some things that I fucked up. Canadian Mistakes, Volume 1. Yeah, so some of that's ending up in glass. Because I heard a rumor that the SWA was in consultation with different distillers, and they were talking about amending the rules around what sort of casks could be used. So I was very ambitious. What could this mean? How exciting. Wow. So what did I do? I took some 26-year-old Highland Park and put it into maple syrup cask, like a good Canadian would, And there's no better way to strip the value of 26-year-old Highland Park than to put it into a cask that used to hold maple syrup. Nonetheless, we found a way to release it. Don't worry, it'll come out. But yeah, so that a lot of Canadian mistakes. This one was a mistake.
Yeah. Oh yes, that stuff really scratched my memory. It was great stuff. It was great. No whiskey perhaps, but it was a great drink.
Well, it is whiskey, but it's certainly not Highland Park, and it's certainly not single malt Scotch whiskey. But that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about finding new flavors. I love what Waterford's doing. As controversial as they are, the intention is right, and it's making people think and ask questions. I love what Glenfarclas has always done, kind of the opposite, sticking true to what they do one thing and do it well. I think that's incredible and admirable, and equally inspirational to other whiskey makers and other distilleries and all the new world distilleries and the new Scotch distilleries too. Yeah, speaking of, what else should we talk about? What's in your glass? Do we like it?
Well, actually, it's not in glass. We sort of followed an example of a certain person. What are there any quirky things we should be looking out for from Edinburgh next couple of weeks, months?
Yeah, well, so that unnamed Orkney whiskey will be ending up in a bottle. Someone mentioned Buckfast. We have some of that sitting around, which I don't think we're in a bottle because it's not good enough. But I love what some Irish whiskeys I've tasted that use chestnut. I love the way chestnut affects, especially young spirit, I think. So we played around with bit. We've got a few examples that are okay, and so we're gonna try a bit more, but we'll hopefully get some of that out really soon. Yeah, we sort of have license between boutique being weird and wonderful as a sort of independent bottling brand within our company. That can be the one-offs, the unrepeatables. So what we're trying to do with like Green Isle, for example, or Aerolite, or the whole Character of Isla range, is to do more things that can be repeatable, because to take that place on your shelf in your drinking repertoire, or at least in my wife's drinking repertoire, is part of the objective. So sometimes it's pushing the limits and doing something retarded just for the sake of it, and sometimes it's to do something serious to try and push our category for all of our benefit, for everyone. I think it's not too pretentious to say that you can do both. You know, we all know we take whiskey seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously, and we don't take whiskey too seriously. I love Boutique's labels long before I got there. This one, I mean, this sort of Sex Pistols box thing there, I love that kind of thing. And yes, the liquid inside's great. That's actually what matters. How you get there can be as varied as my hairline. So yeah, what's in our glass then is Green Isle. You showed an image a moment ago. It's a blended Scotch whiskey, but don't worry, it's deluxe. It's a deluxe blended. We remember that phrase. That's an old phrase from Scotch whiskey of old, but I mean, that's what this is trying to emulate. It's trying to emulate that old White Horse style, basically an old Mackie style, you know. So Lagavulin and Craigellachie, that sort of blended Scotch with grain. So with North British, with corn whiskey at its base, a bit of bourbon cask Girvan, some old grain, some 30-year-old North British as well, and some meaty Speyside malt from Sherry Cask as well that I can't name, but it's in the foothills of Big Ben in the Speyside region, and it practices 2.5 times distillation and has worm tubs. So that's in the blend as well.
Is that a quick question?
So this Green Isle, it's just hopefully for that thing when you don't know what you want, but you can reach it on the shelf. It's 30 pounds. It's a satisfying all-rounded blend. And we make it in small-ish batches. We've done, I think, 5,000 liters to date in 2,000-liter batches. And yeah, thanks, Josh. Yeah, the old style. It's supposed to emulate that old-school look and sort of puzzle you a bit, hopefully make you think again, because it's really interesting maybe for us to remember that we are, as proper whiskey nerds, a tiny percentage of the world's whiskey consumer. But even in that wider connoisseurs sphere, blended Scotch is still frowned upon. Some of us are guilty of that. You know, we don't go out and buy blended Scotch. Part of that's deserved because a lot of the big blended Scotch brands maybe have taken their eye off the ball in recent years, and the best malts have been going out as singles. That's possible, but there's no reason that, you know, John Glazer or us or Duncan Taylor or Douglas Lang or Mark Watt or anybody who's getting there, you know, Joshua and Jason, the 3 Js, get your hands on kick-ass casks consistently, then you can get them in the supply. We can make blended Scotch to be more than the sum of their parts, and at least as good as another all-rounder like Highland Park 12, which is what this kind of aims for as well. In the malt world, Highland Park's got, you know, the floral heatheriness. It's got a bit of peat. It's got lots of sweetness. It's got texture, and hopefully this does too. So it's quite deluxe, yeah. So be careful.
That's just the one thing. Maybe next time you should change deluxe by relax and try that.
Ooh, fuck. See, it's the little things. Where were you at the meeting? Where were you?
You know, couldn't make it. But I must say, actually, I mean, I knew it was a blend, obviously, because we made the lineup, but I actually quite like it. And I think it's really holding its ground as well. I mean, it's number 4 in the lineup, and it's a blend.
We've had two 50% ABV whiskeys before this one, and it's holding its ground, which is telling me a lot. It's really good. It's a really good whiskey.
I'm really grateful that you. I mean, those nice words, thank you, and I'm really grateful that you guys put it later in the show rather than putting it first. Because, you know, when I've done tastings in the past, you often put a blend at the beginning to warm people up and to tell them the history of whiskey. And I think a good blend should be able to stand up to great malts, even if they're cask strength. And so hopefully this does. It won't for everyone, but not every whiskey is for everyone. That's fine. It is at 40% alcohol. But it's not chill filtered, so it will get cloudy quick. It's got a lot of the original color and flavor left in the spirit, and you can feel that. I think it makes a difference. I think it's kind of cool when you have spirit below 46% non-chill filtered. It behaves differently, you know. So yeah, thanks. I am pretty proud of it, and I like to drink it as well.
It was also well played by you, of course, sending us a blend and then telling us, well, I can't make it before 9:30 on live, so you have to push it a little bit backwards. But
did I say that?
Yeah. Well, look at the time.
Well, I'm an hour early in my clock. All right, sorry. I'll see you guys in an hour. Jesus, I fucked that up completely. All right, bye.
It's really good seeing you again, Sam. Will you join us live again next year?
Are you kidding? I would have been there this year if we could have. But yeah, of course. I love Maltstock. I love the people, the community. I love the opportunity to argue about whiskey stuff with people who are more knowledgeable than me and more passionate than me, and can disagree and still love the person. That's important. And it's a great place to do that and to challenge our thoughts about this great community and this great drink. So of course I'll be there.
And have some fun, of course.
Relax. Fun's overrated.
Overrated.
If there's any time in the schedule, we'll make sure there's some fun, of course. Yeah.
Just out of interest, is this stuff also being sold here in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and mainland Europe?
Yeah, so Bresser, Timmer, you speak to those guys, but Alka should be bringing this in. It's part of the range with Aerolite and the 10-year-old Isla and the older ones. It's like the blend, the entry level, the approach to Isla or whatever. It's for so it should be part of the set. Hopefully they're bringing it in, and yeah, it should be around 33 euros, I guess, 30 euros.
Okay.
Excellent.
Really like stuff. Thank you very much for being with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Let's be fair. Let's be totally honest here. I don't think I would have tried it without you bringing this to us. So thank you for that. And,
well, I mean, look, I know, and that's because you have a real problem. All right.
Yeah, it is absolutely my problem. It's my problem.
Yeah, but Teun, you're agreeing with it. You even said, I actually really like it. Like it's a miracle. Oh, it's a blend, but I actually like it. Well, I hope that perception can change in our lifetime because, yeah, there are shit blends, and blends are the way the budget malt gets. Sorry?
I'm used to the whiskey you normally bring, so I was a bit skeptic.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You want maple syrup? Oh no, I see. Yeah. The other shit I bring. You mean the High Commissioner? Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you usually bring very, 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 very good whiskey, Sam. So thank you very much for being with us. I hope you stick around to be with us somewhat later.
Of course.
Okay.
I know when your next tasting is, but
I'm here. Yeah, I'm locked at my desk now until midnight. I'll go put the kids to bed. I'll come back and see if you guys are hanging out.
So you should be fine. Thank you for being with us, and speak to you later.
Okay, love you guys. Big hug. Love you guys.
Yeah, Mark?
Yeah. So we're back.
Yes, we're absolutely back. And sorry? Oh!
We have
But I think we've got. I think it's time for a little commercial break right now. So everybody can go to the toilet, grab some new snacks, get some water, cleanse their glasses. We'll be right back after this commercial break, where we can tell you all about the new Campbelltown Whiskey Company, T-shirt company. I believe we've got the CEOs telling you all about it. So we've got a couple of minutes, guys.
Ik vond het lekker deze.
Well, hello. Campbelltown, are you there? Hello, Campbelltown.
Yeah.
Yay. Hey.
Hello. You're muted. We cannot hear you.
Campbelltown is far away, so
we can see you.
Slow. Just wait a minute. We'll all mute you in a minute.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah. How good are you at mime? Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Looks like your Maltstock dance moves.
Oh dear.
Oh, we have some trouble.
Trouble in paradise.
See, it's good to have technical issues when you have a commercial break.
Oh dear.
No.
No. Not unmuted yet.
I suppose she would rather look at you than listen to you.
Yeah, obviously.
We're trying.
Oh jee. Licht aan Mark zijn kant.
Okay.
Mark?
Oh, maybe your is the sound over your end, Mark?
You should go to Cam and Mike below with your mouse and stuff. And oh dear.
Oh boy. No, that was camera. Yeah, camera back on.
Okay, that's 2 beers for Campbelltown. No, 4 beers.
2 beer, 2 beer. 2 points for Campbelltown, please.
And 1 t-shirt, okay.
Oh.
That's with these new
I think Mark just gave us his finger.
Yeah, with these new companies, it's difficult to get a good IT department as well, you know. So it's a bit juggling. It's Campbelltown. We'll be back in a minute. Give him a break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
they're sort of.
Maybe we've got
Yeah. Yay! Are we working?
Yay! I'm afraid our time is up now.
Sorry, it was the interference from the printing press from the t-shirts.
So how are you guys doing?
You know, working hard.
Printing all the t-shirts.
Yeah. It's it's been going really well. It's nice to be involved. Obviously, I would prefer to be. Well, I'd prefer to be at Maltstock properly.
I've never been.
Kate's never been yet, but we can.
Why? Ooh.
Sorry.
I know. Although, in fairness, it's probably better.
I get life for the kids.
Yeah, but no. So it's great to be involved. Yeah, things are going well. So far, so good. Lots of t-shirts.
Sold out.
What's that?
The t-shirts sold out already.
Yeah, we keep ordering more, and then people keep ordering more. So I think we'll try and get them full time on the website so that people can order them 24 hours a day. No matter how relaxed they are, they can just log on and order a t-shirt. The t-shirts are non-chill filtered and natural colour.
Are they hand-picked?
Not by these hands. So yeah,
Locally produced in Campbelltown.
they are locally produced. So yeah.
Good.
Okay.
So you can sometimes get a hint of the sea smell when you first put them on.
Yeah, mine's a bit salty. No, I believe you have plans as well to extend beyond t-shirts and actually bottle some whiskey soon.
Yes, there is plans to add to the income from the t-shirts by selling some whiskey, which has been nice.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yes, today Maltstock is supposed to be the most relaxed day ever. Today's been the most stressful day for me ever. Our first whiskey arrived with us today at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so we're now going to open our first ever bottle live at Maltstock.
Wow.
So I've had to wait for like 9 hours to get this dram.
We need a wee bit of music.
Yeah.
You got t-shirts.
So the crowdfunder bottling has just arrived.
This is it.
This is it. We've hidden the name to protect the innocent. So that you'll have to find out yourself what it is. But yeah, so this is a truly historic moment for us. Our first bottle, the first one ever to be opened, and it's a real pleasure to with you.
Oh, that's horrible. I don't like that anymore.
That is nice.
I'm joking. By the way.
And also, we teamed up with the glasses, Maltstock glass,
and
Whisky Shop Dufton.
Amazing.
And our wedding glass.
Whoa.
So, you know, we're always on brand. You know, if you ever need any branding done, it's all good. So, yeah, things are going well. Get our first 5 casks. In case you didn't know what 5 was, you know. I don't know. First 5 casks getting bottled next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
And yeah, they'll be available to buy soon after.
Yes.
Hopefully.
How are we able to buy them?
Well, the good people at the Whisky Shop Dufton will have some.
Okay.
The Whisky Exchange will have some. Locally in Campbelltown, in halls of Campbelltown.
Yep.
The Ardshiel will have some. And then we will be exporting to Belgium, Denmark, Taiwan, and Japan.
Sorry, Maltstock crew.
Sorry, Maltstock crew. But I'll smuggle some in next year in my suitcase.
So every county gets 10 bottles, I suppose.
So what will your first bottlings be, Mark?
The first one. What the first ones we've got?
We have undisclosed Highland.
From the kind of Brora area.
Yeah. just next door.
Yeah. So don't know what that could be. We've got Manic Moore, 12-year-old that is
it's
probably the star of the show.
Is fantastic.
19-year-old blended malt, sherry, but ex-Edrington stock, so you know exactly what that is. A Kalila, because well, you can't mess up with Kalila.
And everybody.
And then we went for a rum as well. We've got a cracking Traveller's rum from Belize. 13-year-old, 8 years matured in Belize, and and then 5 years in Europe, so probably in the Netherlands. So there is a connection.
Yeah.
You know. And so that's that. And then we've got another 5 due to come out hopefully Novemberish.
Yeah, we're trying to punt another release out before Brexit.
Yeah.
Just in case.
And then we'll do nothing until Aprilish.
Yeah.
So that we've got stuff in time for What Whisky and Friends next year. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's.
So just plug for people that haven't seen this. The Saturday of the Campbelltown Malts Festival, we're doing a What Whisky and Friends thing.
Amazing.
I know most of you will be going to Isla instead, but I'm sure Lagavulin are really worried about our little day.
Yeah,
they should be
competing against them. But it's to steal a Maltstock thing. We're looking for a wee relaxed day where we just have some whiskey and a few beers and have some fun. It won't just be us because obviously we're only going to have by then
5 whiskies.
10 whiskies by then, and 10 whiskies. Well, that's about 5 minutes at a whiskey festival or a normal day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will be inviting. We've got some of our whiskey friends coming.
Some industry friends.
Some industry friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, David's going to be there as well.
I mean, we did say friends, but yeah, David's going to be there too.
Yeah.
Sorry, David.
In fairness to David and a lot of other people, we've been very, very lucky starting this business in a crazy time, new baby, COVID, Brexit, etc. And we've been very lucky that 90% of our crowdfunder bottlings went to Nijmegen. We've been very lucky with people in the industry, whether it's retailers, etc., importers, bottlers, etc. Everybody's been really
supportive,
helpful and supportive, and it's on paper it works.
Yeah. Mark's not done a full day's work at all.
That's a lie. I did 2 hours work yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's probably 2 hours more than I've done in the last year.
Yeah.
So it's so that's why we need to come back to Maltstock next year so that I can do a full day's work again.
We'll put you to work.
I don't think that counts as work, does it?
Well,
next year.
Kate is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, are you staying at home with the kids and I'm going?
No.
It's all right, Pet.
He was worried.
No, it's really good to see you guys.
Absolutely.
And really looking forward to that first bottling of you.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not definitely disappointed now.
Yeah.
Actually, Steve,
three-year-old wine cask Tully Bardine is.
Anything. That was precisely what I was expecting from you. You know. I'm really looking forward to it, and glad it's going well.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing good.
That's going well. So the Craigford bottles have just arrived with us in Campbelltown today.
Yeah.
And so people we'll send an email out to people of how they collect them, because we don't have a license to sell alcohol, so we'll need to take you to halls and give you the bottles there. And the people who are getting them shipped, because unfortunately you can't come to Campbelltown at the minute, they'll be getting shipped out by the Whisky Exchange in the next week or so.
Yeah.
We actually could come to Campbelltown, but we have to be in a 2-week quarantine. So.
Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks in Campbelltown is quite good.
No, but then they need to do 2 weeks when they go home as well, do they not?
Yeah, so 4-week holiday. I mean, that sounds like Teun's normal life.
Oh, it's been really good seeing you guys. I think, but seriously, it's been really good, and it's good to see you relaxed. I hope you stay relaxed. I hope things will go really well for you guys. We'll keep on supporting you any way we can, and we really hope to see you next year at Maltstock and before.
Yeah, likewise, we hope to be back. I might not be able to take the same amount of volume of liquid I used to take with me because it'll be coming out of my bank balance. But we're very much looking forward to it, and totally appreciate all your support as always. The Maltstock crew and everyone that goes to Maltstock, you know, and puts up with me. You know, we're trying to make it like Maltstock here. We've got the fire on. I've got my shorts on. It's pretty much the same. I'm going to go and sleep on the sofa later, and it'll all be fine.
We know that.
Yeah, and I'll phone up Shelton and have a wee dance. So
I see we've got Joshua waiting, and he's very eager to come online. I see. So I think we'll move on to the next round if that's okay with you. But thank you for joining. I really hope to see you guys soon again.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. So that's
hello.
Look at that. Somehow it was Joshua and Mark together, which would be a perfect combination. Mark and Kate and Joshua and actually Sam and later on Tony. So if Mark would stay, feel safe to stay around, that would be great. Hi Joshua, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing great actually. Here it's about 10 in the evening. What time is it with you?
All right. It's 4:02 in the afternoon.
Oh dear. And I see Jason is logged on as well. So if Thomas could put him into this game as well, and perhaps
Jess should be here as well.
Hey, Jess,
there we go.
Now the gang's all here.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Is anyone in the room there? Does anyone have a name starting with J? I don't think so. Okay, so we're remaining the 3 J's. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just didn't know if we had to add on more J's, but
no.
We'll stay the 3 J's.
This looks like it's been going really well for you all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Good fun, good chat.
We've been sort of improvising all the way, but yeah, been okay.
When's the next clothing change?
No.
I'm ready.
For the people at home, we're now going to tube number 4. That's tube number 4. Put it in your glass. Five. Tube number 5. See?
Morning
I love
wood.
it.
Oh my.
All right.
Yeah.
So what are we pouring today? I think Jess may be the only J with the proper whiskey in her glass. Jason and we're still waiting for our packs from Teun, but I imagine they're going to show up any moment now.
Relax.
Oh, they went away.
Well, so now that we have everybody here.
Yeah, now that's right. Or is it just us three? If it's just us three, we could talk about anything.
We could tell them all the secrets. No, that doesn't seem very relaxed. Or maybe it's very relaxed.
I think the more relaxed you get, the more
leaving the interview.
secrets. Did they just leave us? Are people watching us? I can't tell what's happening. Hold on, let's look at
it's
comments.
still live.
Get a room. Oh no. Oh yeah, nice shirt. Here we go. Okay.
Look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Such professionals.
Amazing. How many different color shirts do you guys have?
Oh, you know what?
Enough.
12.
We can go.
Again.
Yeah, we can do it again.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
and again.
Dedication.
Let's just start with the whiskey. Come on.
Oh, the whiskey.
Yeah, sure. Let's get
Jess is in charge.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so-
why we're here. All right.
Yeah, we're just here as eye candy. Jess is doing the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my backup strippers, no? Okay, so if you have all poured it in your glass, what we have got tonight is our Teeling. I'm going to hold this up, see if my high-tech...
No, is it Teeling or Tomaten?
No.
No.
I think we have a different bottle here.
I'm sure we have a different bottle here.
Wait a minute.
Okay, while she's gone.
I think we are Tomaten.
Is there a position available now at the single cast station?
No, you're going to watch this. Jess can make anything happen. She's going to resolve this in 2 seconds.
He can just turn it into the tomaten.
There we go. You change your shirts, we change our whiskey.
I'm glad I'm not looking at the comments yet.
It's okay. David Stark thinks I look like Billy Connolly, so I will accept that every day of the week.
David, do you need to go see somebody at Specsavers? No? Okay. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong tea as I've come in. I've come in this evening from the horrendous Glasgow rain and grabbed the whiskey on the way in and picked up the wrong letter T. So I have got the tomaten. That's what you all had to start with.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what we remember.
That's what we're talking about.
Looks familiar.
It was a test to see if you're all awake or just too relaxed to notice. That's
Exactly.
smart, right? Okay, so smells good if I may say so myself.
Yeah.
I love the way. So I'm now watching Josh and Jason sniffing the whiskey like they're also drinking with me. They're doing a really good job of pretending to be on the same.
Yeah, I've got a little bottle with a hell of a story on it in honor of the last guest who was on.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Would love to hear it.
And I have a secret one that I'm not telling. I'm not saying anything about this.
You know how to
just that the color's real nice.
Just showing you that it's a nearly perfect color. Cool. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't begin with the letter T, so we're not talking about it. I feel like this is our episode of Sesame Street. Like today is the letter T, and that is not the letter T. You can't talk about that today. So what have we got in our glasses? We have got a single cask tomaten. It's 12 years old, and it comes from our first very short titled UK, EU, Asia / rest of the world release. But basically I've started calling it our first non-US release because it's some explanation time.
Yeah.
You are such a tease, Joshua, honestly. So for the rest of us at home that are sticking with me, don't follow what Joshua's doing. So we've got a single cask 12-year-old tomaten. I really love this. So when the Maltstock crew asked us to pick a dram, I thought this would be quite good fit. I also went back and checked my notes to see what we had poured last year.
Thank you, Oliver Chilton. Oliver's such a good man. Look at that. I'm going to make it go. Am I getting younger as I do this? There we go. There we go. All right.
Not any older.
True.
So I really think we should make the Maltstock crew are looking a little bit too relaxed. I think you need to tell us a little bit. This first dram, do we think it's appealing on the nose? Are you enjoying the smell of it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's perhaps not what I would be expecting from a typical tomato. It would, for me, a typical tomato would be very, very fruity and light and that sort of style. This one is slightly more heavy than I would expect, and more malty, perhaps, with more grainy. But it's really appealing as well. It's again after these quite heavy drams we've had before. This one is really keeping up its head. It's really it's this being the 5th whiskey in the lineup. It's really good.
Is it waking you up? Were you starting to feel a bit?
No, not at all. But it holds its own. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
You never expected a tomato to hold up as 5th in the lineup. That's what
beautiful
say, and indeed it is.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful to hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I suppose it's nice and mature, distinguished, appealing. It's a bit like the three of you.
I'm gonna blush.
Yeah, like...
yeah.
Or like Michael Lord, definitely heavier, says Michael Lord.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear.
I feel as if that comment's towards me. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, one of the things that we've always talked about with single cask nation is texture and mouthfeel and weight. And so to have a tomatin in our first release that can speak to that texture, and seeing somebody incredible like Michael Lord saying definitely heavier is wonderful to read, and a huge honor to see. It's interesting as much, and you maybe are not picking it up from my transatlantic accent, but being a Scotsman who lives in America, having a presence in the UK and Europe has been really important to me since Joshua and I launched Single Cask Nation back in 2011. And so, having a chance to see wonderful people at Maltstock and the wonderful guests of Maltstock, it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a bit like when Jess and I poured at Glasgow's Whisky Festival last November. Like, actually pouring my whiskey in Glasgow was nerve-wracking. Like, I can go to Seattle and have a Scottish accent and half the work is done. I can go to Los Angeles and have a Scottish accent and half the work is done. Pouring in Glasgow, I don't have a Scottish accent. And so it's an entire uphill battle for me. And so to have our pours be well received, to have knowledgeable people like them, and to get the texture is wonderful. And David Stirk, a very knowledgeable chap like David Stirk, picking up on just how smooth it is a huge compliment. That's the name of the game for us. Anybody who's ever listened to One Nation Under Whiskey knows that smooth is what we're in search of. Is that true, Joshua?
Yeah, especially with this one. It's 58.2. What is that? 100 and. I can't do math. I don't know. I can't do the proof thing. I can't do the charade, Jason. I can't go with proof. I can't go with smooth.
Barrel proof. It's all barrel proof all the time. Don't worry about it.
Also, fuck off. Okay.
Jess, what's it been like pouring this whiskey? What have the responses been like?
We've had lots of really nice things said about us. I don't know if it's because they thought I was vaguely sort of threatening in my presentation, and so they had to say nice things back. Or you had been paying them to say nice things.
We don't have that kind of money. You know that.
I just kind of hoping. I think it's really nice. A lot of the clubs I have poured this for, they have said it, like the Maltstock crew, that it's got a really nice kind of grassy straw finish. I think this is really nice. I like to look at our tasting notes on the back of it and then tell everybody in the tasting that you guys made them up on a plane journey over from Scotland. So you so fit to write all sorts. You also write very fancy tasting notes that in Glasgow they're not necessarily what we would use. Phrases like buckwheat.
Yes.
My favorite comment on the end of the tasting note for this dram is definitely not built for Scottish weather. Enjoy this dram outdoors with friends on a late summer evening, which shows how much you wrote this in a pre-COVID world, not in Scotland.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jess,
that line was for our Dutch friends.
What was that word again? COVID? I've never heard of that. What was that again?
So it's the before times.
Oh, yeah. COVID. Oh.
Yeah. If you keep saying it, if you keep saying
Bob's
that
never
word,
heard of COVID.
Yeah. If you keep saying it to us, our American feed will go dark. We're not allowed to hear that word over here. So, if you could please keep this clean and stop making it political with the talk of your COVID.
I've got a special Russian filter on my computer, so I can say what I like. It won't affect you. It's fine. I just have very fond memories of being at Maltstock and being with Joshua, working from one end of that delicious cheese table to the other, and then going back again.
I have the biggest news. I have the biggest news to tell you. So I fell in love with that cheese table at Maltstock. I spent far too much time there, as you can see, and so then
I thought you were showing your morning wood. Paging HR.
That's different. That's a different Zoom meeting. And so I have such amazing news. I was in my my local supermarket last week, and that cheese, that same brand of cheese, is in Guilford, Connecticut. I can get it anytime I want now. I'm so excited.
Cheese?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
I bought approximately 2 kilos of it in the airport on the way home. And they cut it into really tiny pieces and ate it for about a fortnight.
It's pretty good cheese, and they've been great supporters of Maltstock as well the last couple of years. So, yeah.
I'm so happy you guys really enjoyed the true spirit of Maltstock.
Eating 5 wheels of cheese each. That was really what sold me on the festival. Like, whiskey, blah, 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 relaxed. No. Come and eat some cheese. Oh, fine, I'm there. Cool.
Yeah, I think we should say how good the food is at Maltstock.
Yeah.
Right? Go for the whiskey, stay for the food. It's tremendous.
Thank you. And put up with the people.
Put up with the people. We're all three of us missing Maltstock this year so dearly, and sharing whiskeys with you, but we get it. And
you're right. I mean, you're still on to host the campfire next year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo.
It'll be something.
Yeah. Oh, very excited for that.
Might even bring the right whiskey. You never know.
Yeah. Is it a tradition that you have to get as drunk as Mark Watt to host the campfire? Is that the tradition?
Mark Watt.
Okay. I will vomit before I get about 50% as drunk as Mark Watt. Like that's yeah. Maybe they will send Kate next year. Wouldn't that be a nice change of pace? Somebody we can understand and who knows about whiskey.
I have to bring him under the table. I think you shouldn't underestimate Kate's drinking abilities. I'm sure she'd be, champion. She trains with the
best. This remark by Mark Watt is almost a bridge to our next guest. Never came in time.
He was fine.
Yeah, well.
The time that we were late for our own tasting. That's what he's referring to. Yes.
The time
Where-
you were really professional and you had your stand-ins, doubles ready to take over tasting. I mean, that's the level of professionality. you really
The
have to
weather
take from
was
you guys,
horrible.
You know?
The weather was horrible.
I have spent the year trying to look more like Billy Abbott so that it'll work for next year when Josh and I are late, because you can't get a taxi in the rain. So.
And I'm waiting.
Billy
And
and
I'm
I are
waiting for
one
Mark.
mind.
I'm waiting for Mark Watt to grow this so he could look a bit more like me when he has to stand in for me.
Yeah, he just has to bring Kate then, I think.
Yes.
She's the better Watt. Everybody knows that. There's no debate to be had there.
True.
What we need is
Look at
All we
you
need
all
is-
three. Now you're on the other side of the ocean saying things like this. You wouldn't say this in the same room.
I would. I'm morning wood.
all we need to find is a babysitter, a Campbelltown babysitter for the Watts, so that they can both come to Maltstock.
I see a new
crowdfunding coming up.
New crowdfunding.
No, but seriously, thank you for joining us tonight. Anyway, guys, brilliant. Thank you for the whiskey, and really looking forward to next year the campfire. I mean, yeah, must be good fun.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
Really
start
looking
writing all
forward
my
to that.
jokes, so we'll be ready to go.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
guys.
Thank you
Have a
so
good year.
much.
Next year in the Netherlands.
Excellent.
Cheers. Love to you all. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
So that's us again. Oh dear.
They're still here?
Yeah, we're still here. I'm afraid so. So let's go to someone who is he's actually been at Maltstock all the editions we've had, I think. Tony? Yeah, he's
Can't remember one.
Yeah, let's just ask him. Tony, guy, how have you been at all the Maltstocks?
Guilty. Guilty. Yes, I've been there many times, and I think all the time. So that was a lot of fun, and a big thank you from the Netherlands for that.
My first memory of you is having this tasting with glasses on the table with grass in it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that was my brilliant Glenfarclas tasting called Taste the Future. And I had to get all my props, and okay, this is going to be messy, but I used this thing. Look, can you see it?
Yeah.
Do you recognize it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you recognize this? Because this was another episode of the. This was my famous pajamas. Can you see it?
That's Orda. Is that the Orda?
Yes, we had a new whiskey. And I guess you guys all got this package. So if you go to sample number 7, I was not allowed to give all the people a little dram of this wonderful bottle of Orda. And it means in Gaelic something like, hey, you got one.
Yes, of course.
Serious. Oh my bananas! I'm so impressed.
Got one as well, so
I'm very impressed. So yeah, Maltstock was very much like fun, but there is something I want to show to you. I don't know, is it allowed to share something or not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wait, I don't know how it works, but
there is a button share screen somewhere around there.
Yeah, and there is a message on my screen, and it says "fuck you." So, anyway, I had a picture when I was 10 years younger, and it looks like I was 20 years younger, and I was pouring a bottle of 30-year-old Balvenie. Because Julian, he said, my boss at that time, he said, here you go to Maltstock and pour that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had a picture, and in the picture, there was also Klaas. And Klaas was drinking the yes, oh, is it him? Wait.
Remember?
Is it really Klaas?
Yeah.
Oh my lord! Wow.
looks much older, but
Hey, and Annette is sitting next to him. Stan? Oh, okay, now I see that. I have a really interesting way of seeing everything. Yeah, that's the... Well. Even he's skipping. You see how young I look? I look like a film star.
That's. I think that's about 10 kilos ago.
Yeah. That's what I think too. So my new image is with the beard, and actually I'm writing books nowadays with recommending people who should come to Scotland, and that they have a special place to book. So yes, and of course I still do the tastings, but not in English anymore, because I remember, and that was also a picture, that I did a tasting once, and that they sent me to court because somebody lost his contact lens.
Okay.
No, that's funny. You're laughing for everything, and now I make a joke.
We didn't get that. It's probably too intelligent for us.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, anyway, Ronald Zwartepoort, he lost his contact lens and he was crying over that. And yeah, that was a very interesting moment. So yes.
sinus apples.
Pardon?
With the sinus apples.
Yes, yeah, there was a lot of complications because I never did a tasting in English, so I have to translate all the complicated Dutch words, and it was very funny. But I'm trained nowadays, so I'm a little bit better in it. But yes, I'm still working to find out how you say in English the word balmy, because that is what I want to make on Maltstock next time with Teun. So, but he doesn't allow me because we need pizza. So yes, and I see my buddy from Belgium, Steven. I already saw him live tonight, but that will be fun because next year he's getting married, and he made the error to invite me for that. So I will be going there, and there will be a lot of fun and whiskey involved.
Yeah. Will you attend his wedding in your pajamas then?
Yeah, I was actually, well, I don't know, because I was searching for my pajamas, because I made an upgrade nowadays. I sleep naked. So my pajama is really gone. And maybe I forgot it somewhere. Oh, Bianca, thank you. Noodles. Yes, that's the word. Noodles, because bami is fried noodles, Tony. Okay. Yeah, but there is also a different way of preparing noodles, which that is the way I make it with for Teun, and well, not for his lovely wife. It is somebody I really appreciate nowadays, because she did the great thing. So Teun, you should be very proud, eh?
Oh yeah,
We're all very proud of her. So.
Yeah, she did. She just for the viewers who don't know what it's all about. Teun's wife just donated her kidney, which is very special, to be honest. And well, here's to her, and yeah.
And the girl who got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the girl who got it, good health, because we tend to forget that, but the health is the only thing you really got. So here's to good health, and bless you.
Yes, and to Teun, because he has to support her now.
Oh yeah.
And stuff her up with whiskey.
You can't drink yet.
Do you remember the barrel race, which was in 2000 something? Wow.
Yeah,
that was cool. We had the whole circuit, and even Sietse was there. Yeah. And he was holding a scoreboard like the Top Gear stuff. That was a lot of fun. And I remember also that what's his name? Sam Simmons was there, because he had his shirt with 17, and he hosted a tasting with Mulvaney whiskey, because he worked for that brand at the time.
You know, we also participated in the barrel run. Billy Abbott.
Did he?
I did.
Yeah.
And he's online as well at the moment, Billy.
Yeah.
Hi, Billy. Hey.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hi, Billy.
I did really well in the barrel run until the last couple of moments when it rolled out the way, and I realised I'm incredibly unfit. And so all of the adrenaline and stuff of me going, yeah, you do the barrel, do the technique, and swerve. And then I basically almost collapsed face down in the mud. So, I saw the video. Somebody posted up on Facebook the other day, and I saw it for the first time. And I watched it, and there was this surprise in the voices of the people who were videoing that I had any form of skill in rolling a barrel. And you can just hear this increasing surprise through it until I absolutely screw it all up, at which point in time they go, oh, that's all right then. So, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy. You look handsome tonight.
Can I just say, Tony, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for letting me joining.
I really
and,
hope
enjoy the rest of the evening, guys, and thank you. I'll be watching all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope you can enjoy your time too, Tony.
Big kiss to Annette, there.
Sorry.
Big kiss to Annette. And I hope you can enjoy your barmy soon, Tony. I'm looking forward to it.
That's the deal.
See ya.
Yeah, see you around. Bye. Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you? There we go. Turn my fan off. There we go. Oh.
And with the Maltstock perspective, how are your glasses?
They are new. They are intact. I also, my passport is here with me, within reach at all time. It's actually here. Yeah.
Wow.
I still have. The scary thing is I still have those glasses. They are one of my backup pair. I super glued them together, and they've lasted longer than any other pair of glasses I've ever owned.
What happened to them? I never got the story about what happened to them.
I had been drinking, and I then went to bed, and I was on the top bunk in one of the dorms, and I didn't have anywhere to put my glasses. So I woke up having taken my glasses off in a state of inebriation. And I woke up with my glasses embedded into my chest, having been lying face down and sleeping. And when I sat up, they were stuck to me, and they fell off in 2 pieces.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So these ones are pretty good, actually. I haven't broken them yet. I've tried really hard, but I have like a selection of pairs of glasses beside me in various different states of brokenness. So I'm used to that. So, oh dear. Never mind. Anyway, hello, boy. How are you guys doing? Are you surviving the evening?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is sort of what Maltstock is usually is for us. It's part things we have planned and part things we didn't plan. So that's good actually. Which is we're having fun.
Well, anyway, we should probably drink some whiskey, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great.
I'll tell you what it is in a moment, but I literally have 1 dram left. This is the sample I have in the office. Don't show everybody yet. Don't show everybody. You don't have any. Yeah, you're meant to be pouring it for everybody else, so I hope you don't have any left. That's sort of the point. So, no, but this is of all the ones in this range, this is the one which seems to have been punished most. Back at the Whisky Exchange, we've not been working in the office for the last 5.5 months, he says, looking at the date. So we've all been working from home. There's a few people been working in the office, though, like Sekinder, the big boss, and Dawn, our buyer. So I left a load of whiskey in the office because, I didn't have all of it here at home. I brought some bottles home to wave around on video. And every time I went back in, I found that certain bottles seemed to be going down at speed, almost as if like the boss was drinking them or something. So, this one I saved before the last of it went. So anyway, there we go. I missed my glass. Anyway, lovely. Anyway. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Relax, glass.
Cheers.
So no, I won't show you that one. I'll show you that in a second, so I can show what it is. Basically, every year. This is my 10th Maltstock. So which is really scary. I know you guys have done more of them, but I didn't hear about it in the olden days because you were like over there, north, over there somewhere. So I didn't know where you were. So, but no, so I've tried bringing on some interesting Whisky Exchange things each year, and last year, just after Maltstock, we released a whole new range, which I was trying to bring them along for Maltstock and couldn't because we didn't have them released yet. This one, for instance, this is an Ardmore. that arrived at the whiskey show last year. It literally arrived at the show. It was delivered to me on my stand. I went, here you go, here's that new bottle you're doing. So for years and years, we had the single malts of Scotland were sort of the whiskey exchange's house whiskies. But the lovely people of Elixir Distillers, Ollie Chilton of Heckling earlier fame, looks after all of those now. And they're exported all over the world. So we didn't have our own whiskey that was the whiskey exchanges. And Sekinder just wanted to have a whiskey that was the whiskey exchanges. So he said, right, let's do a new label. And this time, so we can't accidentally make it really popular and send it out to everybody in the world and have to export it outside of our shop. We want to keep it all for ourselves. He said, stick the whiskey exchange's name on it really big up front and center. So we now have a range of whiskies, which are just literally the whiskey exchange's range of whiskies. We did 6 of them last year, another 3 this year. I think we're down to 5 of them, maybe 4 of them, 4 or 5. And Ardmore, one I'll tell you about in a bit, Glenbergie and Aberlour and Aberfeldy. I can't remember. Anyway, they're all on our website. Go to our website and click on exclusives, and you'll find it. It's lovely. But yeah, so they're just single cask whiskies as chosen by Sekinder to be whiskies that are to his taste. And as I've worked there now for 9 years, they're to my taste as well, because the boss feeds me whiskey and says, this is nice whiskey. And eventually Stockholm Syndrome kicks in and you say, yes, boss, that is nice whiskey. And you believe it. So this one is pretty much something I seem to bring to... I spilt whiskey all over my desk. This is... Anyway, pretty much every year I bring one of these to... Ollie, you can't export this whiskey to Japan. This is my whiskey. Stop it. You can have yours. You have your whiskey already. I also have some of your whiskey as well. It's very nice, but stay off mine. So, pretty much every year, the Whiskey Exchange bottled a whiskey, which for me, really, it's Ollie and the gang being nice and finding some casks and all that sort of business. And I seem to bring one of these to Maltstock every year. Smoky, sweet, not sort of traditional smoke. Bit of sherry normally if we can do. I like them sherry, like them with a bit of bourbon cask as well. So this is a pronunciation check time. Lechig, Ledag, Lechig, Lechig, one of them. So there we go. This is our lovely 13-year-old 2005 vintage sherry matured Lechig. I've been told it's Lecheg. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I went to the distillery. I bought a hat with Lechig on it, and I said to people behind the counter, how do you say this? And the 2 people behind the counter gave me 2 different answers. If they don't know how to say it, I don't really care. But anyway, so this is available now solely from the Whiskey Exchange. But yeah, so this is pretty much my style of whiskey. It is smoky, it is sherried, it is from the Chig, and it's really rather nice. So yeah. Anyway, lovely Maltstock people. Have you finished changing clothes yet? You're still changing clothes. Okay, that's right. Oh, sorry, I just took my shirt to start advertising people. There we go. There we go. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so I've got to keep on talking about stuff then. So, oh no, they're back.
Yeah, we are here. Yay.
I like the blue shirt. But I have to say, the lime green ones are a little bit much. The pink ones are a little bit sort of thing. But the blue I think works really well. It's soothing. It feels relaxing.
So what color would you advise for next year then, Billy?
I'd say purple. Yeah, have you done a purple one yet? You've done purple, haven't you? Yeah. So my answer to everything is purple at the moment. You know, I've got purple socks on at the moment. So you know, I don't know really. You don't go for a forest green. I feel forest green is a very, very lovely color. It's
racing green.
British racing green. There we go. I say forest green. I do mean British racing green, really. So,
yeah.
British racing green. Remember that. So
and that's all that's done. That the Whiskey Exchange could sponsor.
Racing green. Yeah.
Racing green. Yeah. Oh, dear me. So, what do you folks reckon to this then?
I really like this. It's a cracking gram, Billy.
It's when we have this range comes out, I sort of went through them. As I said, a few of them turned up literally at the whiskey show. I was setting up my stand going, I need more whiskies. I have space for more whiskies. And then someone bought me 2 cases of whiskey and went, here's some more whiskey for you. and it was literally trying them right there and then to see what they were like. And while this Ardmore is absolutely stunning, it's a light, delicate, flowery, smoky thing, and it's lovely. This Lechic is the one which I sat and drank for most of the whiskey show last year. Mainly because I had some Curacao on my stand as well, but the boss was keeping an eye on that one, and I couldn't just drink it. I think I was maybe charging like £180 a go on it or something like that. So yeah, necking that was considered not allowed. So I have to say you should probably reorder yourselves. I think if you go Bob and then Teun and then everybody else, because everybody, you two, I have to say, yeah, go for that. That's a nice sort of like
lighting,
it's a moving of the colour. Oh no, you can't just swap. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say, Bob, is the fact that due to the fact that you're so ridiculously tall, when you're sitting really near the camera, you look gigantic.
But I have to say in favor of Bob, Bob is that big that he always gets another kind of shirt as the other people have, because
now it makes sense.
No,
as a gentleman of
sorry.
I have large shoulders, you see, and so because of my large shoulders, I also have to get a different shirt sometimes. So I understand that problem. So. Oh, there. Anyway, so anything you want to know, or do you? I can keep talking about stuff as you well know. I'll keep talking. Yeah.
No, well, is it still available? Mark Watt is asking.
It is somehow. This is still available. I don't understand. I think it's mainly due to the fact that I was meant to be doing promotion of it when the lockdown hit, and therefore we couldn't. So people didn't know it was there. People now know it's around. Please, it's available on thewhiskeyexchange.com, and also in our 2 shops which are open. The third one isn't open yet. Will be soon. So, and other big thing for us at the moment is I've got to write tasting notes for these whiskies, which you can't see what they are. So we have that doesn't matter. It's literally just got random numbers on it from Ollie's random sort of like number system. Those are 3 whiskies that have been selected as the special editions for the whiskey show, because our big whiskey show every year unfortunately has been cancelled. We can't do an in-person one, but inspired entirely by the virtual Maltstock tasting, we have decided to move all of our tasting online. And so we just put up the first chunk of the timetable. I think that's 100 tastings and talks over the first week of October. We also have to schedule in the ones that we're doing. They're just the brand ones. We've also got another 100, which are being hosted by me, Dave Broom, and Dawn Davis. I think Mark Gillespie's doing a couple as well from Whisky Cast. I'm scared. I am actively
pretty amazing. I had a look at the lineup, but that's looking amazing.
Yeah, so we need to sort out all of that. I need to organize all my tastings, but also it's so awful. I have to do tasting notes for these 3 whiskies, which if you've seen our labels before, and if I turn this camera up on the wall there, that's the labels from last year, which our designer gave me as a present, complete with a little torch hanging there underneath it, so you can shine it and you can shine a torch on it and see in the ultraviolet light all the things that appear in it. So but yeah, so he's got a fantastic new sort of like concept for the labels, which I'm in the process of trying to help the technical side of it, because there's a technical side to it this year. So hopefully we'll have all that sorted in time. But these 3 whiskies, from description alone, because I haven't even had a chance to open them and have a drink yet, just checking, is this the it's very different. There we go. Yeah, this one I'm very pleased is very, very full. So yeah, so anyway, so random questions I saw pop up. Ian asked, what weird beer would I be bringing this year to Maltstock? I would have been bringing, if it had turned up in time, because currently the delivery people are holding it hostage. A bottle of beer from a brewery called Mills, which is a husband and wife team who do beers inspired by Gers. And so they've basically done a spontaneously fermented beer, which is very much in the same style of Gers, being a blend of different aged beers. And it's the last one they're doing for a bit because they're about to go and have a baby. So they've literally said, this is the last beer we're selling for a while because we have to go and have a child. And once we've had the child, we then might come back and start doing some more brewing. So I was going to bring one of those along. But unfortunately, what are they called? APC. If anybody has any troubles with APC, yeah, I'm not a big fan of APC. Anyway, and Mark was asking Mr. Watt, how much does it cost? And through the power of the internet, I can tell you that I can't spell the chick. It is £94.95. And a question I saw pop up from Ollie, which was, how many talks am I hosting? I think currently I'm scheduled in for 25. I've been told that might go up in the meeting I'm having next week to tell me how many talks I'm doing.
That's during a week, right, Billy?
That's a whole week, yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The email I got from Dawn, our buyer who's organised everything, was said, learn how to stockpile food. You will not be eating meals ever again. So, hello, Sam.
Billy?
Billy!
Hi, guys.
I would join you in the jumping, Sam, but
yeah. And I see.
I'm doing it for you, man. I'm representing.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Hello.
Looking after me.
Hello there.
Hello.
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 Hi. Hello. Hey, Hannah. How are you guys doing? I'm trying to dodge this now, but.
I mean, are there now more of you than there were earlier? You seem to be multiplying.
Yeah, I think so.
Billy, you asked for the purple shirts.
It's very fruitful.
There we go. I see the purple. Oh.
Purple.
There you go. Yeah. I didn't know what you were doing there, Billy, but I was excited.
I'm wearing trousers today for the first time in a long time, especially for you guys. Oh.
Hey,
Ian's back.
Ian is joining as well. Good to see you.
Come light.
Oh,
So, dear Monster Crew.
Yeah, who's that dark guy?
Ask him.
Who are you? I can see you. I see some white, some black, but I can't see you.
I think that's Ian.
Oh, it's Ian.
It's Ian, yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Get closer. Get
Where's the sunlight?
Oh, I say, what are you guys looking at? Is this like on a phone, like it sat on a box or something you're looking at? I say, can you? I'm trying to make sure I'm brightly lit so everybody can see me. Oh, there we go, Ian. I can see you now.
How's the social distancing going there, guys? You keeping a good safe distance?
1.5 centimeters.
If anyone's coming down the hallway, whatever, on their way to wherever they're going, they just pop over you like 2 meters
We're
away.
in Germany. The rules are different here, Sam.
I say, it's probably an arm's length, so just make sure you just crowd surf them over the top. You know.
I never. It's funny. You say Germany, and I think rules, but okay.
No, you're wrong there, Sam. We should definitely visit Germany some more.
You're always.
Not in a few weeks, but thank you for the invitation.
But meanwhile, I suggest and Mark and Kate coming in as well.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Mark.
Good.
It's like a multiple.
Yeah, absolutely. Jess is here as well, I see. Hi, Jess.
You've got one person left.
Yeah, I definitely. This is a campfire moment.
I was thinking of setting up a small fire, but yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly done, Sam. Perfectly done.
Oh my gosh! Look at Sam. Look at Sam.
I'm gonna pass it to you, Josh. Here it comes. Ready?
Go ahead.
That Ledig is just amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Good stuff.
I'm rather pleased with it. You know, when Teun said, "Oh, choose a whiskey," and originally I misread it, and I said, "Here are the 6 whiskies I'm going to send you," and he wrote back and went, "You only need to send 1." It's like, oh shit, okay, that's fine, brilliant. That saved me loads of money. That's fine, great. There we go.
And that shows how honest they are. Because if you'd made that mistake to me, I would have just taken all 6.
I think there was also, I was asking too many questions. And I didn't quite realise I had got that confused. So. No, I was thinking earlier on of actually going outside. I have a balcony. I'm 6 floors up at the moment over the glorious northwestern wasteland. And I was going to make a little fire on my balcony, but then we received a letter around the other day saying very specifically, no bonfires or barbecues on balconies. They are made of wood. Please do not burn down the entire building. So unfortunately, I can't do a campfire for you all, I'm afraid.
I love that your neighbors needed to be told that.
Well, the scary thing is there is actually outside my flat at the moment. There is a barbecue in the hallway from the people one over on the other side of the stairwell who have been barbecuing on their balcony. And I go out on the balcony and just the smell of beautiful burning pork chops comes over at me every other weekend. I wave at them in a, you should not be doing that. And they wave back in a, we are really great at barbecuing kind of way. It's really lovely. Explore the space.
Who has been Dave Broom this year?
What are you doing?
Dave Broom this year.
Oh.
Who was Dave Broom last year?
Anyway.
I should have brought my cardboard cutout Dave. We have a cardboard cutout Dave Broom in the office. We have 2 of them. We have one full size and we have one this tall.
So he will burn.
What?
Bring him next year.
We will. I'll try and steal him out of the office. You know, at the same time, though, if anybody needs a cardboard cutout Dave Broom, I have a source. Don't worry.
Yeah, to burn along with the books we're burning next year.
Exactly. Ian, I like your colors.
Do you like the colors?
Yeah, I do.
Oh. Really Maltstocky.
Very Maltstocky, yeah.
I know.
Maybe we should ask all the people at home if they have any questions at all.
Yeah.
Before this gets totally out of hand.
Anyone of us or Maltstock in general?
No,
Life advice. Sam is great with life. Sorry, Sam is great. It's really difficult to get the angles right, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Life advice.
You're there.
Yeah.
Give me some
music. Ask Ian. Yeah, he's a master of that.
Yeah. Here's the story. My man name's Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we could create a Maltstock logo.
I just looked over and saw the Maltstock sort of like the team in the basement with all the logo. I got very confused over who was where because you have these big. You had a logo just coming out your head.
Really talking on his own.
Sorry.
It's late here. It's not that late. It's only 10 o'clock. Still, it's late here.
Who is Billy talking to?
It's always on my mind, Billy. Always on my mind.
Yeah.
You were always on my mind.
Oh, Marcus had enough.
Oh, they're out. They're out.
Oh, back to back.
I'm sure you turned the
Thank you
camera
for reminding me to do a karaoke at Maltstock.
I'm sure you turned the camera around to show you the campfire and I can't make it turn round.
Dave, Mr. Sturck has asked a question for everybody, I do believe.
Oh, you're bringing one bottle next year, not your own stuff. What is it? Okay, from left to right, Billy.
Whatever the bottle that I buy out of Mark's ranges, that isn't the crowdfunder bottle because I have that, not you bastards.
Good answer. So Sam. Sam.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh dear.
Okay, we're to the next one.
David is only asking this question because he's not bottling anything himself anymore. Of course.
Yeah. He's fishing for ideas.
Exactly.
That's a hard question. I can answer that. But Ian, what are you bringing?
I'm going to bring the next cuvee.
Look at the campfire over here.
Come back now.
That's great.
Okay, most of crew. What bottle are we bringing? Not all at the same time, please.
Whatever's on offer.
So no. What bottle will you bring?
I'm bringing.
Well, we're kind of bringing our sweat and
Johnny
our
Walker back from the
effort.
30s.
No, we're just making sandwiches and running for you guys and cleaning toilets. And
We're bringing ourselves and we're bringing.
Thank you. We've got
You can put that in a bottle.
There's no price tag on that.
So Sam, what bottle are you bringing? If it's not hearing.
Well, because Josh is here.
Oh yes.
Right?
Oh,
You got yours, Josh? Yeah, nice.
you and me both, brother.
I emailed Neil Young's management about it 3 months ago, and they're very keen to talk.
No?
Yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The Watt sisters, what about you?
What bottle will you bring? It's obviously not one of your own, but here with us.
Well, I don't know. If I could find some more of the 25-year-old Craigellity from Whisky,
I'm trying to make my hair like yours, Ian.
I'd do that. But what else would I bring? You know,
Some of my friends buy us some really interesting whiskies.
yes. I've got some Ukrainian allegedly whiskey with like 7 Ys.
Yeah.
I'll probably take that. We'll take lots of things. But yeah, it depends. It depends on what you lot out there will sell to us. So
okay.
And what I'll maybe do again is do a blind tasting with 2 whiskies the same to see if you still don't remember.
That's a pro move, Mark.
So Joshua, what hat did you bring to Maltstock?
So I think I may bring this bottle of 80s Bowmore so that the FWP fetishists like myself can enjoy something.
Yeah.
Joshua, I don't know if you saw my lovely Instagram picture I posted this morning, but I discovered that in the UK, Amazon not only sell 3 kilogram bags of Parma violets.
I saw that post, Billy.
Not only do they sell those, but you can subscribe to them, and if you subscribe, they give you a discount. And also, if you they gave me a 1/3 discount on a 3 kilo bag. I cancelled the subscription today because 3 kilos is enough. I don't need any more than that for a while. But still, you can get like a third off if you don't tell Amazon. Don't tell Amazon I'm messing with the system.
Yeah, it'll definitely get me through the end of 2020. There's no doubt about it. 3 kilos.
I'll save you a few. First couple of tubes are free, but you know how it goes, you know.
Here to continue working on my Billy Abbott impression, I will have this with me.
The Glenfarclas.
Yes. Approved.
21
Glenfarclas.
Glenfarclas. Me and Billy.
Absolutely.
We're basically brothers at the moment when it comes to appearance. So, you know,
Can't tell us apart,
I need to work on the accent a bit.
You and me both, brother. Jess, what was yours? What was your bottle? That's not ours.
I would like to start by thanking Billy Abbott for spoiling my Christmas present for Joshua. So that's my staff bonus gone. Thanks. I was thinking if it was boxed with like Parma Violets as packing peanuts. That would work. So thanks, Billy. Thanks. I'm now just going to use the 2 tubes he gave me for free, and then you have to make the rest up. Obviously, the thing I will be bringing to Maltstock next year is the very deliciously underpriced 1950s malt look that my 2 bosses have generously bottled just for me. So I'll bring bottles up for you. I like the way Jason's looking behind him as if you can see that on the shelf. Yeah, it's just to the left. Put your hand up. There's just there.
I missed it. It's not this though. That's not the 50s one. Okay, just to confirm.
Yeah, I'll find something weird and wonderful failing that. Which I'm not going to fail, obviously. Am I, guys, watching you?
I'm taking notes.
So guys,
on the back of the hand.
Knowing a year ahead is too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite possible.
I was just wondering, is Dave Sturck still online, and could he just elaborate on what he would bring to Maltstock?
Send him a link so he can join.
He'd bring some good stuff.
Yeah, get him in here.
Yeah, let's get David in here.
I see. There's 9 in cut.
I think he would just bring a bottle of gin so he could drink gin and tonics all day.
I will say that my abiding memory of Mark at Mark Mr. Watt at Maltstock was the first year I met him. Sorry, second year I met him. We sort of hanging around, and I sort of went back over to the chapel late at night, and he walked out with 2 gigantic goblets of gin, one in each hand, and went, "Billy, gin now." At which point in time I went to bed because I realised nothing good would come of the situation. So. And just as enjoy.
None of that creative shit.
Too much.
I'm afraid that the connection in Cameltown is somewhat blocked. So, okay, guys. Thank you very much for being with us. It's been a great evening, to be honest. Thank you for all your support. So it's lunch. And last but not least, thanks to the Monster crew. Guys, you were sort of having your own party over there. According to German rules, you're safe, but I hope you're very safe. I hope you keep safe until next year.
Bob, it's not really a party here. We're really, really bored without the guests, you know. We have nothing to do here. It's totally boring.
We can only drink.
Yeah.
I seriously hope you have a great party over there, and I seriously hope we will see you and our guests and next year in a totally normal Maltstock, to be honest, because that will mean that the world is going on again the way it should be.
Yeah, cheers. That would be nice.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers,
you all
everybody.
so much.
Next year.
Stay healthy, everyone. Stay relaxed.
Bye-bye.
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 Bob and Klaas, Sebastian, every year it gets better and better, 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 better. Guys, chuck them in the fire. Fucking hell. Chuck them in the fire. Yeah! Take broom books. Take people down the campfire. Take broom. Let's Have a big round of applause.